I've been asked to speak on data protection and safeguarding cultural heritage in the context of technology, artificial intelligence, and digital governance in Africa. And we've got I double as the Minister for Communication, Digital Technology and Innovations here in Ghana. I'm just going to try and run through this, but African Family today is a proud institution that is under unprecedented digital assault. And why do I say we are under unprecedented digital assault? The average daily screen time for the African youth is 7 hours. Now, consider that you spend 8 hours sleeping, you're supposed to spend 8 hours working, and you're supposed to have 8 hours for other activities. 7 hours for every African young person is spent on a screen. 62% of African youths, or teens actually, so that's between the age of 13 and 19, are exposed to pornography online even before they turn 15 years. The rise in cyberbullying across sub-Saharan Africa is 3 times the number. We're seeing a rise in young people committing suicides. People, because of the way the African context is, are not tracing the story behind this increasing number of suicides among young people, but cyberbullying is a big one. At the Cybersecurity Authority, which is one of the agencies I oversee, we're dealing with an increasing number of cyberbullying cases. 78% of African children's content come from foreign platforms. So your kids, your grandkids are spending time, and 78% of the content that they listen to is from a foreign platform. 1 in 3 African parents are reporting that their children have gone wayward. They've lost the African value of respect for parents, and that's coming from online platforms. And you just need to take your time and listen to what our kids are watching and your grandchildren are watching online, and you'll be shocked at what they are being told is the new norm for dealing with parents. And there's 40% drop time or drop in family meal time, which is correlated with smartphone use. Now you see families, even when we get the opportunity to sit down to eat, we don't have conversations as Africans. Growing up, meal time was family time. It was a time for us to talk. Our parents got to know what was going on with us. We got advice from our parents. Today, the parent is eating, but he's responding to emails. The child is eating, is watching an online video, 40% in the quality of time that we've spent. The problem gets even deeper. The digital platforms that your kids are listening to are built in a particular manner. It's not by happenstance that what is happening is happening. It's well orchestrated engineering. There's algorithmic parenting. And what that does is the platforms are giving recommendations on a daily basis to deliver content to African children that the parents never see, the parents never approve, and often contradict what our household values are, because the algorithms are not trained on African values. There's a deliberate value injection. Today, they have gender deconstruction, they have hyper-individualism and anti-family narratives online for our kids. And this is not accidental, it is intentional. And what they do is they're using this to dilute the Africanness of our homes and the next generation of Africans. The algorithms are bypassing the elder as well. Today, it is, for millennia, the African identity has been a respect for the elderly and our communal living. Today, the new generation of Africans have no respect for the elderly, and family councils and elders and community ceremonies are now a thing of folklore and the distant past. It's no longer what we do today. Digital platforms have inserted themselves as the primary socialization background for a whole generation. The algorithms are addictive by architecture. Ask yourself why a simple song addicts children in Eswatini, in Malawi, in Ghana. Baby shark do 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 do, baby shark do 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 do, baby shark. And you see that children, irrespective of what their mother tongue is, are addicted to that song. That is social engineering. That's the power of artificial intelligence. The brains of kids, babies, were studied to understand the sound that their brains react to, and that was used to develop the melody behind that song. And that's the amount of money and investment that's going into changing the mindset of our children. It's addictive by architecture. Children want a tablet. A child will take a tablet instead of a plate of food today, simply because of how addictive. The brain that is being formed is being addicted to the rush that they get from the platforms. And that's the generation of Africans that we're building. Community fragmentation is happening at scale. Today, we all have thousands, tens of thousands of followers. On X alone, I have over 300,000 followers. Truth is, I barely know even 100 of them in person. But that's the community that we're all building. We're building huge communities of following online, but in reality, when was the last time you picked a vehicle, drove to your friend's house, and sat with them to have a face-to-face conversation? We're losing that identity which makes us African. The whole essence of Ubuntu, that I am because you are, no longer exists. It's replaced by how much click I can get and how much likes I can get. The AI systems that are shaping Africa's youth are in a foreign language. And that, for me, is one of the biggest problems that we have. What AI does to the African child, it recommends foreign-produced content that normalizes alien values to our African families. And so the values that are being taught to our children are alien to us as Africans. And that's what artificial intelligence does. The content moderation that many of these AI tools have will flag our African outfit. I'm dressed in a traditional Ghanaian smock. The AI algorithms will flag this as not meeting community standards. Our Eswatini brothers are dressed in traditional Eswatini outfit, African beauty. It will be flagged as indecent exposure. Meanwhile, that same AI tool will not flag a white lady in a bikini as flouting communal standards, because our African values have not been put in the AI tools and into the AI moderation models. This is what we're dealing with. The AI tutoring platforms exclude our history, our culture, our values, and our epistemologies. The things that make us African, whether you're from the north, the south, the east, or the west of Africa, the uniqueness of our Africanness is excluded from the algorithm biases that we face today. And that's the world that the young Africans are living in. Beauty and social validation. The AI trains African girls to reject natural appearances. And so you'll see all the apps, they all have filters. And what do those filters do? They take away your natural face and give you artificially made up European-looking faces. So our African women think that African beauty is not the same. Meanwhile, I always say, you can bleach black and make it look white, but you can never color white and make it black. Black does not break. And the AI chatbots will answer children's questions about identity, about sex and religion without the African context. And so they will teach our children that it is okay to have two mothers or two fathers, but that is not African. That is not who we are. But that's what the AI chatbots are teaching our children. And our children, many parents do not know, your children and grandchildren are on gaming platforms like Roblox, where pedophiles are allowed to open accounts and pose as children, and a lot of sexual online grooming is happening. And I'm not speaking about this just from an African context. It's happening in Europe. It's happening in the US, where pedophiles are being arrested for having groomed 16, 14, 13-year-old kids on these children gaming platforms. But the gaming platforms are not putting in place the security measures to protect our children. And it's happening here in Africa, but because we don't have the right reporting mechanisms, nobody is flagging this. And so when you look at this, in this room, what languages are we interpreting in? What languages are present here? English, French, Arabic, Portuguese, Spanish. None of this is an African language, but this is a meeting of African members of parliament. It tells you part of the foundational challenge. And so AI follows it. 92% of the data that the tools are trained in is in English, 4% in French. African languages make up only 2%. And so tell me how we're going to be able to translate our future to our young people. Now, the problem here is AI is driven by data. Artificial intelligence is only as good as the data that it generates. 80% of African personalized data is processed outside the continent. And that's why, as Minister for Communication, we've given an instruction that every data that is hosted or that involves Ghanaian national data must be hosted locally. And we've put a ban and a stop to hosting of our national data outside in data centers outside of our country. We will host our own data in our own country. The estimated value of African data that is being mined externally is $40 billion a year. $40 billion. That's the value of our data that's being generated every year. How much of that comes to Africa as royalties from big tech? 0%. Not one peswa comes back to us. 5 of the top tech companies, American companies, process African data. And just 2 weeks ago, Donald Trump signed an executive instrument, an executive order, mandating that all new AI applications must be submitted 30 days before they go public to the US government. Ask yourself, why is the US government interested in the AI solutions and tools that are coming to the African continent? Ask yourself, and I see my executive director for the Data Protection Commission is in the room here. I referred to him a memo that had been, or an agreement that had been sent to the government of Ghana by the US government on health data. Sadly, some African countries had already signed. When that came up at cabinet, I said to the cabinet, I said, that is not a health agreement, it's a data agreement. And we did a report in 24 hours and submitted to the president, and I'm proud that our president, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, wrote to the US government and said, take your money, Ghana will keep our data. We will not sign that agreement. Because a US mandated health agreement that asked us to submit Ghanaian health data to US government for the next 30 years gave us no control over our own citizens' health data, and said that any dispute we had will be settled by US law and not Ghanaian law. Tell me why they need that data. Very simple. US health tech companies are producing medication that is not working for the African continent. And they need your health data to be able to design the medication that they will sell to you and make profit. And that's why they offered 100 million, 200 million to all African states to hand over our African data. Members of Parliament here, if your governments have not signed yet, lead the opposition to that. African data must remain African. There are 5 concrete threats that I'll highlight here. Child sexualization, anti-family ideological capture. I could take my time and go into all of this, but we don't have a lot of time, so I'll just quickly run through them. Intergenerational knowledge rupture, cultural shame and identity erasure, and digital addiction that is destroying family time. Honorable members, Your Excellencies, it's important that we understand the danger that we face with pornography. And I keep saying that, look, we don't need to rewrite the script. Today in the United Kingdom, for you to access a pornographic website, you need to put your driver's license for them to be able to determine that you are 18 years. Ask yourself why they are doing that. Because they've seen the danger and the damage that pornography and over-sexualization have done to a generation of young UK citizens. And that's why for us, we believe that in Ghana here, and we're working with going to cabinet on that, to make sure that before you access any X-rated site, you must put either your driver's license or your national ID card, so that we know who you are and who is going to that site, to prevent children from being exposed to such content. This is the real threat. Because when a child is over-sexualized at an early age, it affects their development, it affects their thinking, it affects even their morality and their values and their standards. And the only way to break a people is to go after the children. Because when the children are destroyed and damaged, that culture, that culturalization gets damaged. The fight against Africa is not against those of us sitting in this room. We were a lost case. The fight is against our children. And that's why when myself and my colleagues in Ghana introduced the Family Values Bill, one of our key arguments has been that we're fighting for the innocence of Ghanaian children, because our children must be protected and safe. We were protected by our parents in an African family setting. We must do same for our children and grandchildren. I'll quickly jump to the governance void. And in the governance void, what we see is that who makes the rules? The platforms that your kids are on, that our children, the young people of our countries are on, who makes the rules? Facebook sits in California and determines what is called community standards. Whose community? Does the Facebook community standards set in California understand what the people of Ningo and Pram Pram call community? Or do they know what is community in Hashem's constituency in Malawi? Or in Sarah Opendi's constituency in Uganda? Did they consult you to understand what the community standards of Africa are? No. They set those community standards. And the things that are values to us are excluded by that standard. And the things that our community standards truly abhor are allowed for our children. YouTube's content policies determine which African cultural videos are demonetized. You hear about our young people and our young content creators. One of the biggest challenges I have as minister is that my young creators say, Sam, get us monetization. We want to make money from the content that we put up. The whole concept of monetization is about control, economic control. If our young content creators know that a certain kind of video will get them more money from the platform, they will push that kind of video. What kinds of videos get the most money? Videos that show disrespect for the elderly. Videos that are anti our African values. Meanwhile, videos that educate and videos that promote African values get less monetization on these platforms. So it's a systemic thing that you put up, you're a content creator and you put videos that build an African identity, you don't get money for those videos. You put up content that is anti-African values, you get money for those videos. And that's the incentive behind the monetization. And that's why as a continent, as one country, we can't fight this. Ghana alone cannot fight this. Nigeria alone cannot fight this. We must become united at the AU level to say this is our position and bring them down there. And let me tell you, honorables, we underestimate the amount of power that we have. By 2030, 1 in every 3 human beings is going to be African. The AI data sets need our data. And so we must bring them to the table at our own terms. The world's richest man, Elon Musk, is afraid to travel to Brussels. Why? Because the EU will arrest him if he sets foot in the EU. The EU is about 460 million people. That's just like West Africa. Nigeria alone makes up almost that number. Africa is 1.5 billion people. Apple is one of the biggest technological companies in the world. The EU, a coalition of 450 million people said, we're not happy that you have a different type of charger, so change your charger. And Apple had to listen to the EU. Now, Apple is going to begin to make new phones that allow you to take out the battery. Why? Because the EU said so. That's the power of collectivity, the power of unity. If 450 million people in the European Union can do that, imagine what 1.5 billion of us in the African Union, if we make our voice one, can do as a continent. We will shape these platforms, but they divide us, and we allow ourselves to be divided. Until we unite, we cannot fight this battle. TikTok's algorithm is shaped by US-China wars. Nobody's talking to the African Union. Meanwhile, their biggest users are on our continent. Only 33 of our 54 member states have data protection laws. Honorable members, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. Ghana has a law, Nigeria has a law, Malawi has a law. Just pick that law and also replicate same. Because we have the Malabo Convention. We are more alike than we think we are. Who is enforcing all of this? African parliaments, and that's the heading I put there. I said, African parliaments have ceded our legislative chambers to Silicon Valley. Let us reclaim our position as legislators. We make the laws. We determine what our people must do. Let us not cede our power to Silicon Valley. What can we do? Ghana has already, I'm using Ghana because I serve as Minister for Ghana in that capacity when it comes to digital technology. In 2012, we passed the Data Protection Act. As far back as 2012. And as we speak now, we're reviewing that law. In 2020, we passed the Cybersecurity Act. As we speak, we're reviewing it again. Because in 2012, when we passed our data protection law, there was nothing like artificial intelligence or artificial general intelligence. So we're bringing it up to speed to meet the realities of today. In 2023, we passed an online safety policy to protect our children. In 2024, we passed the Family Values Bill. It wasn't accented to. We brought it back again. We passed it last Friday. And we'll keep pushing until the president accents to it. And just in April this year, we did it in 2025, but we launched the National AI Policy in 2026. And what we've done with our AI policy is to mandate that our AI policy must respond to Ghana's own indigenous needs. And so we're not going to import AI wholesale. It must sit within our national plan. The 3 pillars of action for Africa's Parliament, and I've taken my time to break this down. I'll share the slides as well. But 1, digital family protection. We must make sure that age-appropriate design codes for all platforms serving minors. We can pass the legislations, and they will have to mandate with it if we do this as the African Union. We also need to make sure that platform liability for child harm and harmful content exposure. Today, you know that we don't take our time to read the terms and conditions. But the terms and conditions state they have what they call a safe harbor provision. That safe harbor provision has been taken out in the EU. But what it means is if you can establish that your child was affected by content online, cyberbullying led to either a medical condition or the suicide of your child, that the platform is liable. But in Africa, they have a safe harbor provision that says even if the platform led to the danger that was caused to your child, you cannot bring any action against the platform. And we're sitting down as African legislators and doing nothing about this. We need to wake up and begin to deal with this. We must have family values digital standards in our local African languages. We must push for that. We must have mandatory digital literacy that's rooted in our African cultural values. And so the second one is on AI governance and cultural preservation. We must mandate AI impact assessments for education and public services. Here in Ghana, we're doing that. Right now, I have an AI focal person in every one of our 23 government ministries who reports to my ministry, and we're making sure that every AI deployment across all of government runs through our ministry to be sure that the quality and the standards that we've set are maintained. Yes, I'm getting pushback from the tech society. I have Ghanaian techs who are fighting me. But I know that behind that sits the big tech that is not happy about what we're doing. But look, we will not have a digital Wild West in Ghana, and we must not have a digital Wild West in Africa. That space must be regulated, and will be regulated in a way that does not stifle innovation, but in a way that protects our African identity and the innocence of our children.
I think it's wonderful. We give him a few minutes to conclude, right? More? Right, so, bas.
I'm running through because I know the time is...
Right.
Moderator, I'll wrap up in 2 minutes. We must publicly fund digital oral translations and traditions and indigenous knowledge. We're building, and President Mahama announced a $250 million National AI Compute Center. I took that memo to cabinet with one vision. Ghana cannot continue to build AI innovation on the back of Western models. We want to own our own models and build our own models. And the good thing is we're not doing this just for Ghana. We're doing this for Africa. We're building an AI compute center that will serve the entire African continent. And so working with our universities, we're building national language models. We're building in 7 key Ghanaian languages. And then we're also building in African languages. We're building in Creole, we're building in Swahili, we're building in Hausa, in Yoruba, because we want to be able to share what we build from Ghana with the rest of Africa, because we must own our own compute infrastructure. The first phase is $250 million. We're trying to push it. We're going to build what we call the national language model, the Ghana charts, that will be able to, because we spoke about agric, we spoke about all the other things. Today we want to give solutions to our farmers, where you don't need an agric extension officer to go and check what is wrong with the plant. You can use your mobile phone to scan the plant. But the question is, many of our farmers do not speak the languages in which these applications are in. So how do we put those solutions? And that's why, for me, a language like Dagbani, or a language like Bono or Chi, or Nzima, which deal with our key farming areas, we're building national language models in that, so that when a farmer who is farming cashew in our Bono region, which is where we farm a lot of our cashew, takes that application, he can speak in Bono to the application. And the model, AI model we have built in conjunction with our universities, will be able to interface with whatever platform it is, get the solution, and give him back a response in his mother tongue. That is what technology must do for us. And so I urge you to all adapt this. We must fund this, and we're doing this with our academia. So your universities are critical in doing this. So we're having KNUST, University of Ghana, University of Cape Coast work extensively with the traditional authorities. Because you see, when you take the traditional language, and for those of the Ghanaians, if you take the word nu, which is written NU with an inflection in my mother tongue of Ghana, depending on how you say it, the meanings are different. When you say nu, it is man. When you say nu, it is drink. Nu is water. So the same NU, depending on the inflections that are put on it, could mean multiple things. And that's why we must work with traditional authority to explain and own this. Data sovereignty and cross-border data flows, very important for me. We must make sure that our data is stored locally. Many of us are adopting all kinds of AI systems and fingerprint systems, and our national databases are sitting on servers in Northern Ireland and in the Middle East. That must end. African data must sit on the African continent. There is a reason why the US does not allow any US citizen data to even be hosted in Europe. And now the EU has also passed a new resolution from this year restricting the hosting of any European data outside of the EU. Because data centers have now become a critical thing. At the last ITU meeting in Geneva in May, I moved a resolution which we are going to take to PP, which will be sponsored by Ghana, to exclude data centers from during periods of warfare, like the way hospitals and schools are. Because today those data centers are the ones that power your hospitals and your schools. And we saw from the US-Iran war, data centers sitting in Bahrain were attacked. There's a reason why data centers are being attacked. Imagine if your national immigration database is sitting in a foreign jurisdiction and that data center gets attacked. What happens to your national sovereignty? But even as we talk about national sovereignty, we must be able to agree on what cross-border data we want to flow, especially as we push the African Free Continental Trade Area. So we would strike a fine balance between allowing seamless flow of data, but also holding what is critical for our national sovereignty. And I think that what we must do is to ratify the Malabo Convention without delay in the countries that don't have it, and we should have a pan-African digital governance body with treaty-level authority. I think that that's very critical for all of us. These are the details of the three different pillars I spoke about. I'll skip that. A compact for African family digital sovereignty, a call to like-minded legislators. This is where I think we must go. We must pass a Digital Family Protection Act in your parliament. So these are the 5 things I want every MP in this room to take back home. A Digital Family Protection Act must be passed in our various countries. We must establish a parliamentary AI. I'll just go back to maybe the AI is not happy with the things I'm saying. We must establish a parliamentary AI and digital oversight committee with family protection in their mandates. We must have those committees in parliament. We must ratify the Malabo Convention and enact domestic data sovereignty legislation in countries that have not done that yet. Fourth, we must refuse trade agreements that compromise Africa's digital sovereignty and data rights. We must refuse such agreements in our parliaments. It makes no sense for anybody to be offering you support for agricultural help and adding sexual and reproductive health rights as part of the terms and conditions of something in agriculture or trade. What is the correlation? We must scrutinize this very well. And let us be clear, there are people who walk in the corridors of African governments, power of African governments, who are compromised and who will smuggle this in. But we stand as gatekeepers in parliament to ensure that we protect the African value. And the fifth thing is that we must co-sponsor an African Interparliamentary Digital Family Protection Declaration. And that's what the African Charter that I hope we pull out of Accra from this summit will do. That when we finish with that charter, we lay it before the African Union. And I hope we lay it before the African Union before the end of this year. So that by February next year, when President Mahama becomes the next AU chairperson, he has something on his table that he has to push as an African Family Values Charter on the African continent. What Ghana is offering, because yes, we're saying do this, but we've already taken steps as Ghana. We can share the Family Values Bill as a model legislative template. We provide Ghana's Data Protection Act as a drafting resource, and that's something I'm available to give you our existing legislation and even our current draft that is going to Cabinet, which has been updated to deal with AI and all of those. We'll continue the Pan-African Parliamentary Forum on Digital Family Protection. This must not end. Sarah and Hashem's, this must continue. We must lead the drafting of an African Interparliamentary Digital Family Compact, and then we must advocate jointly, not just at this platform, but at the UN IGF, at the ITU, and Ghana is hosting the Africa IGF this year. We're hosting here in September. I'm going to make sure that African family values is part of the conversation at the African Internet Governance Forum. And so a covenant with African prosperity. These are my closing thoughts. The children of Africa did not ask to be born into a digital age. They did not choose the algorithms that shaped their worldview, the platforms that colonize their attention, or the foreign ideologies that are being pushed into their homes. That choice belongs to us, the legislators, who are their parents, their grandparents, their uncles, and their aunties. We owe that to our children because our parents did that for us. We cannot be the generation of legislators and parents who failed the African continent. Every parliament that passes the Digital Family Protection Act, every legislature that ratifies the Malabo Convention, and every lawmaker who stands up to Silicon Valley.
RASH HOUR show with the one and only El Supremo, the blogging Supremo, international Supremo, Supremo numero uno. RASH Syrians, are you ready for your favorite RASH HOUR show with the one and only El Supremo, the blogging Supremo, international Supremo, Supremo numero uno. RASH Syrians, are you ready for your favorite RASH HOUR show with the one and only El Supremo, the blogging Supremo?
Friday. I think today is the first Friday of the month, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
First Friday of the month.
First Friday of the month.
June and Yechaguno.
And no, June so your quantum 30 days.
June 30 days. Enough from Zao.
Beko, June Beko.
Kwawu.
Supremo.
Before I best start, person come overcome when you are sorry. Near this standing ovation can see Amos George.
Sammy Kutupana say.
Mr. Come home. Your first standing ovation can see.
Say,
Emma Sam George.
Oh, damn.
Now your mother basso.
Oh, damn.
What's a gun in
Some
George, some George. But video never for twice a crown. Some George, okay. Some George, some George, prove say. We Jatanampa. Jatana Kasano. Wamiu say, say Edina da and Manasukwa.
Mungo pram.
Wamiu say, Bia Soria, and I Jatam. What we say we Jatampa.
Yeah.
Some George at Chess, War Bema. War Bema. What was some George at Chessem? Why are they? Some George. Why are they? What this was the 4th African Interparliamentary Conference.
Yeah.
And of course, the Jataman was there. And then he had opportunity to talk to them. What will motivate you? What prove say he knows his stuff.
Yes.
What prove that Ghana for said he knows what he's doing.
Yes.
They work and what he has most importantly, also protecting the upcoming young ones. What the preaching be from trying so best censor this bad. They are getting so much access to pornography, to protecting our database, to Ghana, any Africa, or encourage the young getting into the AI. Say we should unite. Say the international body, will not take us for granted. The international apps will be a YouTube, Facebook, when you access Abroche, what we see, Bagana, the Emra was we can see. Their community standard is tailored to their community, leaving us out. Africa is losing out. Recently, we can say US was 100 million in exchange for our health database. And up with President say, he showing say, I know what I'm doing. Most importantly, was say one, you're protecting our family values. You're protecting the Ghanaian community standard.
Yeah.
You're protecting our children.
Yeah.
You're protecting your data. Sam George Akasa.
Sam George. You better not say. Now, I like how he started. And then the delivery, Now, my mention say, unse bibia or the bekoda suma unu be di home common. Sometimes I know unya son for so any money it will take a certain period of time.
Yeah, it takes time.
And I like the fact that he appreciated 2 other honorable members of parliament from I think Uganda and some Malawi was and I will recall some years back, about 5 years ago. It is something they spoke about, family values and all that. And then Nyaje said, "Ne omunine champion that thing now moka wansem no from various countries. And omoka cyber security wansem, data protection wansem. Almost also the family values and that's money in our babishim. And manager honsa was maintain the grounds or status. He got the attention of the people. Now, this is proper Ghanaian. You are educating Wahase or coding school Waha, I am a politics Wahase. He's not one of those people now because of the fundamentals.
Born and raised in Ghana.
That is why we are super proud of him.
Yeah.
Even though he's had a stint of education in Biwo Abrochenia, but
mainly his
foundation in Bibia, no Hase near the man. The politics career Nina Hania de Mano. And this should tell you, say, our members of parliament, I know sometimes yet now say near radical woman, yet now my money a cast of more power, to some extent, see a videos be say a train argument cause there be in yes, any parliament in
they know what they know exactly what they're doing.
They are doing there, and they mean business. Supremo, Mesa Sam George now Obesha early this year, you can't say the once say young politicians no matter or more simple any nyoma you can form your ninja man international platform they will deliver and they will speak to authority,
they will deliver
with the greatest level of respect. They won't disrespect you, but they will speak to authority. They will tell you say nyoma bi amo ye ne nyoma bi amo ye de yanyintum omo be ka de wo se enipa ne te no omo be ka kire enti na toda na nkofo di omo ho yaw to certain extent say omo ba fie a
na as a mama neoma koyo edu ba bia
but on the international stage, you know,
exactly.
they perform.
Supremo, now back to Sam George.
Yeah.
Many aje. Cyber security and online honsensem no. Yen kan wi da o. O kan sem bi. Say yin nyina yesusan ye Africa there e one community. Yin nyina da so say dachi bi akranke be ka bom ne nya one head of state.
Na betwi a ye na na be ka it takes a village.
Yes.
No moka na no ba akofo ntete ba. Na ye community na ntete ba.
Into okashim say mo be ka yin nyina ye nyini. Edu anwumre ni edidi a eho papa nsa dam pesiem no wo school kosen won so no nua no mo so mabom nkuya mu nyina mo nsa da aduane ni mo na ye nana no sebe no mo nyini so no toda anase no mo adwene ni nso se toda na ayi kese na mo nyina maduane gum na mo didi o
onim de oye it's a building bond.
Yes, na build the bond the didi no kwa ni nyina didi bom wo ho no ana on kan tro se be didi sa do ye ayi wo mo okobo ball ne obehoro wonsa ubeyese mu hwia na mu nyina mo atena se ne ya cha adwuma amamo se ewia yenkan kuku yenyese yenkonso obi nya ne de enwia mo betena se atwa mo obi ya ne de awie enti no na ehye obi a se ye ka bo ma ya adwuma obi an play ne role ntem se de be betena se yedidie now Sam George ka se bi yen nyina ya tu a yedidi no na ma ye opportunity ma ye hu obi ayi edi nkomo ebusa se de obi a ho sitie and all that but any Supremo did no Supremo say check breaking news
the uniqueness
what you say
Obano
o man aduane no so wan fa ne tablet na anhye ne nsem ama na mo game aduane no wondi I just walk at say okay o there episode 1 we are na ma say mo no ba ko o the game no ne online no ma na ekoso no ana wo dey motivate akra no say wondi enti no we are in an era nkra no ana say Gen Z na eba no o man so my so person mo ba era but I was say ye embrace era na ye wo no na momu no ye embrace no I was say yes too smart na sa enkofo no mo build apps ni AI no na sa na mo no mo dey shame no they don't know your culture ono do no culture no ana yes sa no man nti say wan ke ya ade na wo ba no unu aketo no wo fast no na ade no so pi no eno na be shape no ni intene yen yesi ye mbuye parents uso kan ni na wo ye mbuye parents okosko wo mbu ni teacher ni but Supremo yen ya papa na oyo hene rokoku one ye ma migre so ma ma do kono by the fireside Saturday no stories ni dina ye fi nsem
na de kaze they
can't obeti ananse sem ni bewie no na tufu say de ntia eni so ye pese nkunya no onya saa afutuo na firi de ntia unya ade a wo so onye obi che no no osu afiri Supremo ye nyine no ne ehwe inspector bediako inspector bediako no ma wo say me di boni say ya police be chi mi o enti na ye nyoma na ewo aha say no yankase community nim ne nyoma eno ana na ye de TV bia ye di shapia enti no say ye nyo opportunity ne nkyerɛ wade na TV no enso ka wa story ne kyerɛ ɛhɔ na no wo hu sɛ de nyoma esitie wo ɛna sɛ ne bie enti yentimi nka sɛ ye tena ye nkwan de ho sa yama nkɔfo nso opportunity sɛ ɔmo nso mfa ɔmo de nkyerɛ now Supremo we are going to the and I'll come back to Sam George. We are going to say people don't even I said my car mechanic my bishop no my deflector ka no saba Supremo who him say ne
bona baso brakodi kwai
oh sa baso bona but who him say ne if is here ware kra ye appreciate ya sorry dem de nche fie de no
eso fie de ya ware no
yes you know Sam George ka tro no
and ya be fie de engagement
e ya no na Sam George ka tro no
so fu is that keke no aware
e ya no na Sam George ka tro no because Supremo say so fa phone na broni ne de na wo ye no
80%
a wo hwe na ye ofe
African personalized
you see to no the wedding gown no and no na ye ofe
but e ono
ne de so in as much as we are embracing this ade we bo Supremo tie and na ebo ma me ye adwuma yo Rashad nsani agi but broni na building in such a way say esutu ono enti kwa ben ye be fa so a say the Sam George ka ye be hihemu yi a e sutu ye narrative no that is basically what Sam George is saying and I think say he needs to be applauded on all grounds now when he started, he also talked about data protection, analysis, and with regards to data. The number of teenagers in terms of percentage are more way to pornography. And I would have loved the center of double both sites now at the mind because on money those platforms from my research any idea. I would have loved said and can ever go to that extent. What I say, Nanka on one so find it out for himself herself because platforms
and that's a point of say. And I see my or Rashid through because of the time.
And you know the latter part. Now we now make and right now in the introductory part now or introduce you to we now know which is very good Supremo because what's a parliament as an African leader you do about. Won't say a best shock you say okay, I had an idea about this, but Benin says that's damaging. What's the mission? Now, that you are exposed to so many sites into the moment I will call another video and when you toss a video so load by 5 seconds and videos are in that category and on and that is the algorithm he was talking about. It's not make a choice say when you are effort wrong in his delivery everything he said on point. Sorry. We are so proud to say, baby, a simple. Now the chairman was telling him, say, not come on a few minutes. But the rest of the people were jeering. Yes, I'm trying to say, I'm inflow because some we are too informed. Now we and you said something about. And you may be on the squad, Parliament of Ghana, or Moses say, if you want to access a pornographic website and access a pornographic platform, also here ID card and all that.
And also, it's not a new law.
Yes.
You go to the UK right now, before you can access a pornographic website, you need to input your driver's license.
Yes.
It's not something new.
As some now can say, on person who are pornography. Only problem. Never more say, so what fast now 15 years now. The all 14 years or 13 years now. Statistics stress say some category of youth no more teenagers no. On outdoor to do no pornography say no. No pornography. Ain't no. Ya my kwan ma pornography say at this stage.
Na me go say to go accommodate. Me go be OSS o fe no porno
so we only say me hu me who say sir we no go for it hope obi control one say as my senior Mike because we take the full way no he doesn't have a better understanding an overview understanding of what he's saying and someone told went to write to say nah me na me wo pono 23.6 gig goes and then they all me laptop so yeah download get laptop so yeah about as if he's saying oh but
what they don't understand
what is going on and what he's trying to say Supremo and yeah but bona baso o so kai man you better to say on that time no more year veteran oh yeah I'll say congratulations good luck you could see on her face how proud she was what I say of Sam George and Ghana for we are extremely proud of him means no kind na your support all that we are saying is say omo nyina come various countries omo champion Sam George on the distance and say kasa on the international platform we don't politicize it
we were children on the international stage you know
but your background na say betimi akasa say am make a submission say ama obia tin ho asana ke amfa anya politics anka ye but do fie na say the politics of mu na ya say nkomo no na amanyoma ye basa Supremo
international stage ye age o because the same thing on Ghana platform the opposition will have a problem with it
and the problem too is that when you are on the political and the international platform politicizing Bibia, but the moment they will come to our local way, Ghanaian way, Omubeyi, you may be a film, you may be a system, a honor politics in the Burma.
Okay.
because
Or do they
Sam
know
George
what is
I can't the
community
same
in
thing here
Hashem's
working
constituency in
being given the
Malawi?
platform I say
Or in
I don't think so be
Sarah
other
Pendy's
points
constituency in Uganda?
so I just
Did
and
they
this Supremo you
consult
born
you
about
to
why
understand
are
what
there
the
why are
community
there
standards
why are
of
there
Africa
we will be
are?
no better
No,
say
we have a Sam George.
no
Sam George, wait there.
And the things
Standard
that are
deviation. Why are
values
they?
to
What's
us
the gun in him? To be honest,
are
what's the gun in him?
excluded by that
You
standard.
just proved
And
to
the
the whole
things
world
that
say
our community standards
you
truly
understand what you're
abhor
doing. You
are
understand
allowed for our children.
the caring stage in a woman. You understand it. What me so what's your say? Especially when it comes to data protection, when it comes to our family values, you understand the African problem. Particularly, you said something. You said when you look at the policies when it comes to this social media usage, somebody in the USA can get up and or enough proof to see you. Let's say Facebook, Meta, say they posted something that influencing the bar. It's ama, but Ghana no, they have policies say you can't sue them. Africa, we have that policies. Beautiful. Why are they? Why are they? But my man, I'm not okay. You ain't taking the steps. You put up the step. Now you push it. Kwaku, he said something about social online family. Or you shouldn't was so X will by 300,000 will be 100 pay. Now, when was the last time you actually drove to find out what I want to say? Made that blame no. The be a meka and then now me the blame the Ghana suffer. I be the blame the man suffer. I suffer the do a share in your phone and your phone them. First, but then your phone you know didi. Udi na cousin krani kwa uba Ghana akan kasema cousin ni twi even.
The bendi ni twi o
Simply because ye ni enim sa na no. But asofo na de say ye tiri ma ye hu say eh wonu nua kora didi eh wonu nua kora ni brew wo maame wo kosoro no maame nua ne ya wo ko wo nua we yo say no wo papa nua ye ne ya odo omo na de say hu no be share ye mu say obi ni nua ni agro obi e building life on social media with people we don't know, so you can have thousands, millions of followers but you are lonely. I say Ghanaian celebrities, I say in the world celebrities, they can be loved by everybody, but they will be the loneliest. That is the situation we have find ourselves. Some just pushy. The pornography part in the energy pa. Kwaku obi a we your bad thing bia, and also be on your keto bia will be happy with that policy. And I will be asking the parliament how far echo yanka say go hwepo. He say or you underage a won't mean correct. And that is beautiful. Who ba adiwe manenya ode. Who nu yaketo manenya ode. Because the problem of addiction will chroma no a day. Who's every house in North Ghana? Counselors and also Ghana. How many times will be a nyat from me no trackers away when you're counseling? I was saying we don't have them. So let's make sure we don't push those people in to need the counselors in the first place. Some judge, why are they? Nyamishrao. Moba fear mum practicing. This is beautiful. And Africa can do it.
Yeah. Oh yes, we
Africa
can do it. We can do it. And Supremo, I was very excited when Osasoka said, Nancy said it was all over the news. I think Kenya and Sunya had a similar situation. So you cannot come from a certain country and come and tell us you are offering us money and also you are giving us a grant, whatever.
For the medical
data amount. Like it doesn't make sense.
The annoying thing about American data the US wanted no. They wanted to give God $100 million for health data for 30 years. Because I have 100 million. I remember I saw somebody breaking it down. Yeah, Chama Ghana Nibia and Kubia no Kubia about 30 cents. So you are buying my health data for 30 cents in $2.
Yeah. And see, it was good.
Yes, some countries, African countries have signed already.
Just look at this because go for be and there are say the work sign up some keep only problem. Fine, so what on any money Sikano.
And it's quite unfortunate
because Nipa no de bro says won't find some George I no question bibisa. About a specific idea, no, because we did and I know say they will deal with it for a longer period of time. Now, on my back into no, because I so driver's license.
There be okay say Ghana, the Omu propose to use Ghana card.
Now
Ghana
they no card driver's license.
UK as example, say UK.
Omu use
Before
driver's
you can
license.
access a pornographic, you need to input your driver's license.
Driver's license. Okay.
What I say?
Now they na Ghana card no. Ghana card no. I think that sometimes some banks go on and say be a create deposit. We a third party we not so create deposit on behalf of someone. No musa ID. Maybe a Ghana card no. Hona so cast driver's license from someone.
And only problem now, say Bank of Ghana statement by. Say me, who personally cry, who was say so banker, you don't need to carry your Ghana card. Almost say all the banks have data. It will come bank and a bank in the Ghana card and family. Come on, release this over 3 or 4 times.
Because no, as a third party, say but as a third party,
They shouldn't,
because they should have something at least.
They don't. I don't know where they are.
Because I don't have to give it to you.
Exactly.
Say me one number, no cry me to one number.
Yes.
Now what they are
Bank of
verified.
Ghana crack say, who cry your account, bank account. So bank will consent access your account. Either deposit or withdrawal. I don't use Ghana card. I don't give it to them. I say, as soon as they take your thumbprint, the data must reflect. So don't give it to them. Bank of Ghana is saying to the rabbi one thing. Some banks as soon as
it recommends foreign produced content.
what I say. Bank of Ghana can. What we release statements are as what they need any yeah they say you share there who's a Ghana bank you would on man the team that's for your favor me to question you say ebia me sikada me ba be yibi anabedi no me no we tell me adan ma to den me do ka
Because we
don't do me favor
service now.
me sikada don cry we be no be dey do you ka so what exactly is your problem till we know what is
Traditional is
because someone no yes our first point of any at least no matter what you're going through also it's me money pan
as for your favor who said I don't say mama crack and what somebody say with the customer care in Ghana
serious Ghana customer care there
now no me catch you say me here order be buy
this is what we're dealing with.
I'm from speed up for today me body be as one here we deliver guy no was squad of one was squad mu ade omo asafo mu ade so we be here wa
omo no kwa no here ina
omo so omo asafo home touch up sit asafo VIP home touch up sit my delivery my party now I was on waiting list Saturday no testing say aba and I make the Saturday na me hu here but mood can say it takes 3 working days 3 working days of course Monday Wednesday Friday and I'm friend me Monday say my dear be the morning so makudi baby I'll come and pick it on Wednesday morning was it CL and now me say and now say there be o and then what's it massa dey be corner and I say adan we ever returning no because adan be returning and I said 3 working days no say 3 working days say Monday Tuesday Wednesday massa you na be che day working days you na be che day working you na be che day working days you na we will return it no say who mu ade on who boss the speed of force then any dey no for all you know no he is going through this companies now begging them say let me be your distribution agent now for as a delivery guy what you did in a client at them when you be a speed of your catch I have personal experience some of them reference number the no actually pakro or no wasafu home touch you know baby I'm a small rich one and a cocoji brave because also very ten no I'm say what
and you win next time better than one man afa
what there and some your problem and I'm say massa 1 year me favor I don't know the problem so much yaka massa you delivery the car so what is your problem didn't you know who did matter just because me say I'm 3 days no just you what there
but answer customer service as now
okay no talk to your people no WhatsApp home touch no mu ade
one problem was our customer service in your man ho say enkofo she da kusku kusua
and say Ghana
and so for bia emfa ne say we dem mfa nchemi o for bia emfa ne say owo ebia electrical engineering background because oni adwumaye e ma no customer service I was say we training ye because if that person wouldn't even know the essence of yes and so be can feel dankasa do a very good Nti aya I take nneɛma bebree for granted. Nneɛma bebree. Nti obi aba the first nipa na bia wakɔ school kakra wo nkɔ school wo pɛ adwuma yi. Yeah, enyo obi na also the function nsɛm sɛ on handle hey.
Obi adwuma sa boys from go asafo no pamom no be go adwuma.
Obi pick phone cross bi mo sɛ obi si aka hello keke no.
Yes.
Ɛno nko akra ma okra wo sɛ.
Oh, to be back from ni di.
Yeah. This is very very important.
Omo pamo clients. Kwagu
Supremo.
Oh, for best.
Ayo, Supremo.
Oh, for who watch.
Supremo.
Oh, for watch. Maria Bachane sound there, but you have to
know.
Oh, for best.
I know thing. This is scandal.
And that's so far off a ball.
Only is na ino was naba na also.
Naba also.
Unya tiskaso.
No one for us.
Oh, mamu bia so by mamu bia. No
say.
No na guna yi na switch.
I customized. Say eja won hu.
Eja won.
Oh why? Yeah. Yeah, walk up. Yeah. Boys in the house, yo. Boys in the house, yo. Boys. A boy siki. And I tell you, customized on boy siki. And I was sheer red.
Ah, Cochito.
Coach. One boy red, one boy says red, shirt red, knicker red, and a papa red. And then was Seho Bruta. Hey, away. Yeah. Now where there?
Adum.
Then was sheer red.
Oh, we say.
So I'm just this time. What I said last year, I will you.
Yeah.
Colors.
There is some case be planning.
So be there.
Me said the nyai bokura say. Time one, I'm see me hwe no. Na me board round be born. Aye. Na me see me hwe.
See what's the style of service board?
We now see me there. Atum for this year.
This style.
We are.
It's a bonus style for this year.
Yeah, the best.
When I say when you nyai.
Benjini.
No, nya roti.
What the age there kind what the body there kind
no.
What did they?
That's what when you need. Oh, I wait to say well no.
Age dear.
What did the true say ne?
They be on no. Okay, well we were baba ye. No one shit true say ne come.
Who bought on a chair?
Okay,
I near the old schedule when the Asu-B and Obinim.
It's say Jawan one, the white will be okay.
So we are brand here. Now, Kawari of Shimu. Now, you almost open so you almost say, if you are Uscanimum, Umpesebush and Buna. You better Pamu, while Blabishan out or ban.
It was so music Jaw.
Eh, so be you.
So you show.
Wakunta, I will say a war. Wunkuma for was a way be obia won't be a bum. Now we always say, she knew one. Says a me, Samaji, our baby, I'm a disa, a 3 weeks,
and a Kwajawa,
and a Kwajawa. Oh, me drew on ma. Says I am planted a view, and he said, me chum cockranwa. It will be Timicase or Boyachama.
You say,
I have brand you and she says, baby, I'm a cobiano. And ya say, a new one, Metro City.
The true because our boy, unim said, ne, what's a new tea? Now don't normal head come up. Ubi unfree as in Russia, ubit when you nip a bear 5 from because Obayampa, and I don't know, boy. I don't know for color from Muso. And the chest is I have Brandon. We'll be glad to be precise, say, Color will be free, should I be? Interesting.
I'm on for I
be bored and any week. Me born Friday, and I'm the course of me and Fie. Some year in some board red.
It is a year either red or black.
Nimi Nunamebo. It is a sebu any. We a year. Yasapon, year me ball black. And I'm the coy. TV and I'm see Debbie. We the end of me ball red. The Friday, I'm bored red. I'm the course Saturday. And I Sunday me quack now.
Yeah. Empress or Mwakwaba was what feels out best right.
Mr. Richard Andos, boys looks cool and cute.
But what's I fit? Who's the last time I know home for by Sasa?
They say they are Mahodi. Me what's I fit?
And they're true.
So I don't know. Cowboy to open us and Viasi. I can't find away.
Quebec's never be out for bomb.
Bomb will grab my question. I was a million years. The Yadia bomb will measure that a JJ Mogu was politicians omunye ni papa
omo ka bompa
because one bay when a year na say no obi a me hia no aminim say we ma ball bomb da nti me twem ho no
no frɛ ɔmo frɛ so kra de obotom de
bibi
dem na so boys dem friend kwa
wo check here let's say there's no need say we MPP NDC no Oma betu mani tumi omo de power sem.
Omo de power sem. Agwero boyeja o. Agwero boyeja o.
Omo de power sem. Omba se egbo yase. Kakra ba ya no omo show bibi sa ma mi huni. Omba ya sapa omo show bibi ma mi huni. Let us say and how omo sa. Omo ti mu say e game bi na omo de omo ye. So na sabe die na silem ko huni say no.
Nipa power sem.
Because nipa na omo ho no. Say the omo ne sabe ye. Obu ho ni samia ko ama wo hu ama wo kro ba gina samia chi afa ti bia ma same oduru ho no o ma gina di nkomo e wo sa na wo twama ko
o na say me ntwa wa no napo so na call court wo siu no ama ya rule ama napo defamation say on compensate no na so ba oduru won ne bon komo ye bia
so omo politicians dey
Ena
ayeso o ma no papa ko jira ba ko echi
ko kan bia
wo de mane mo ahun achi
na nta mo
mane mo ahun achi tu
ewo we say langas ka o chale MPP NDC eni guo
entiro
o mo da ja ho enti se wo ti onu ma ba bia mo tie do we abetiro ene nkomo o mu di bom
ti what one wo no we say na me do we nti me we ti
ko me hwe ne meyi pa
hwe ne meyi
me hwe ne meyi
obana Empress watch ya
me jire so pa
so ta be sra
me jire so
o se wi a me say hu chambers cry
mati
ansa no wako
mati
Empress obasiki so da se pa ti wi a be hu ansa no wako why boys na some judge video when opportunity ahwe
ma hwe kakra the omu ni say na anti asieli nyanya adwuma yi be say die me ti asie na to stay wa my politics no
okay
the committee na wo you know parliament no near also opposition no we not na
oh okay
also about to the bomb agum what he we yin
but we jitum say enka upeso sa pornographic site ya manfo ko yepo no some joy so they call parliament say ansa na abakwa kwhwe video no just wo do Ghana card hu sampa obro 18 years ofuaso
oh say o check in here maybe a and then crowd school no mo call here SS no first no emu odi o and then the more go to the sense say akra bi akwa SS one no ba wa hwe bi da
TSS one
you want debate
e wo bi
e dey kire no obi a di bi kire no niyo obi o ye boy say ohun ga bi no open na say mo enu no de kire no first
omo de yala yina
ase be na okan enti sa oyinu a odi ba say gise wanya age bi enti ya di Ghana card ne be ye no e good ana o hwe so a say me panyin to say na me se be hwe na me ko register me hwa ko bi hwe bia obo hu say
oh minyini
wo boy baby
ni data
protection die hu
yeah person omo person say wo wura website in ma na capture ni ehun say wo no ya above 18 and no problem but they cannot say debi omo ntimi say
mani je ko report be won say obo na se kwara so
obo siki online
podoni die say die tie bi oni twa so apese o hwe kakra ntan wo twem
the way you do it
no say o we no the akwa ni say ubo one way no am so nkra de ka ho asemu
omo say enye
ya na omo ka tambia wo de bu ba ya no abeda so
antiro
akwa bi ya ba nwum no udi agura obe ye beda no sa bi so na mfa nwum
anyumero no
bi abo no what bi so let me for mo awale fun pa de o kwa sa de no oba ya onu onya wi what bi so let me for you eti sa wo ye pononu a na onya sa ba ku bi a
na de ora bo to mo
na de change kakra tu change ya na ba no ape o mu anu asa ape foforo
nti enu ti na boys ama wo hwe
enu na ka wo ha ere
enti bo
ana wunyi ni sesu a say ya o baby on ma fa no a so onye o favorite ayi nu bia nketo ani bia na se wonyi ni a anti pa se o hu betima sori
anti
o de o ba ya na o hwe podu na de charge eti o be ba no
na what charge you
la o ko e sa hwe e ma no manyini ro ni movement nya ize o
enofo
oba ibla to before be yi re ho kura gu oro na o wa jujo
obelu sulu spare pass
e bi ma no ja enti odo ni de ne hwe ni de normal normal bia betima hwe
enkra ne mo mo hwe
president betima hwe minister betima hwe why dey timi hwe polo so yan hwe wa bra yo betima hwe wa bra ne yire wo ho no that one ne yire no wo be korabo pa
yes I want to hwe
wo mienu hwe no wo de akọ so that esa edimbono ni de eye be sami timi ye de all kanu a let's stop nkura na me de be bi
ekebe yode
bi nkura de say de
omu fa ni agro
ei
omu fa ni agro
enu anu omu gusu sa
ehadwe
nu anu omu gusu
kwawu boys wey dey enko yen starting ko yen sem ana ka obi kan na kwaku
boys atre dabi obo na boys atre the importance
dabi
kwaku so hwe
eyi anu sa
mo nyi anu sa
dabi edi ahuyi anu no what you say edi ahuyi anu no eye oboa oni pa nyina nimu se
kwaku bua
sofu hwe podo kega na sofu me ka na se wo yi we pa
obi are
because omo hwe adwuma efo omo hwe asofu ye number 1
asofo be puno
ada ni asofo bi akọ hepu na bo
me guess no omo fra asofu de ka o to omo tena mu a no omo bi omo de
puno ashim
awo kan
mu
to mo spark o kan mo so
mo ni se ebi a wo se frukado woni se bi o kosuma ana o ye bibi to frukado anu omo chima tumpodo
na se jejina woni so sa
ka hu se baby o de ato no kire za de no
ye go fie
asemato
etikwagu obo so obo
ankura ne na ko ba beka se
kan me nya sofo
me sofo no ase ni no o de me ko ya fe o ko jira baby se o ba e ho na me hu se o ko je e dai me si biane ye e bi si biane oba wuti mi kasa o
oba obedi achi
da bi onya si de ho no mo hu samboard ni ade a wa nye na we kwa dia ka hu se wato ni fidim bo wuti mi kasa o me hwe madam fo ba ho obeba sisi anti sei na asofuru timi hia bia ni patre no fa guest ria gas na timi frefre o mka nu se dia wa ye ni we su dia ye ni ro o mu di hu nkomo na fe o mu plane ko mba fa so metimi dwane ebu oso afidie ni yi o mu timi dwane o timi ko ba bia
na se wo se mo ko
e so ko because we do ko achi
na se ka asofo so de nkomo nya sa o
dabi enya ye kroma
asofo ne gas nda
ye kroma die dabi odo bo ko sisi ana o tete onya wulayo
onya me pe wasem
dabi me pe o se so fuka cho se o pewa so eye wa degrading ho
ti o mu mpe
wo mie na no nka me pe o
yenkuja me
fuka no ko baby na I say yakọ kan se me no madam fu ekusia o mu duru odo ma sei ni mo le monye de mbonu ni yedi nkomo ha no do matena enche sei no mo so mi ensa ko gira baby wo do ni se o mo kanya me asem dabi aba dabi
o mo chemo
we amba fa so o mo be chemo o mo be wi mo ha mo be yedi obi a de adwen ba so
it is kind of so funny be here no
una we ba no frewa as oni wudi nkomo o mabio tina mienu akafe o mo yam jiji o
we so be freeway a o so kwa o mabio
no so abe freeway
na say adwuma na si
enu adwuma no anu no
Kwaguna the
guys in the bad one more report to out to say conclusion no an say we nye anko eso oboa
we adwuma si
this said the obobo no na ne no aka na waka je so sabi the wo me dey am da jimi dey say what ah wani me eh nti mfa hu ya no wo fa hu ya no a next time
the sofo no get that nya no
da bi wo ja say so we adi o jimi enye mo so
boys na me so bia ma plan say me ware nei
e wo ba ware say ye ware wo obi a wo hu so obi adi ye ware
Kwagutie
chese enya basa obi a de na no obi a de say o ye de
ene so bia
ugunu because on what
wona shaware o so uguno
e so ugunu
okay
because wa plan say company na so aye le so for ti wan ti me anyere
ti that means you pa wo for smith me say di
e bet ma aye le sa so obi a wode mrade talking to abi aye o say no obi a odo so odum red onum cocaine onum wi odi wi tofe ani ade na so odo etra de kam no odo dura chiri lo ka cho say me no kofi o
ono so ne
u be dance
anti basa ne nware
wa bo cheo eti u ya obe ya obode ti do obe ya obode kura ti mi yesa na sofu ti mi sofu de ende wo de fa de de koye wo su de odi hu saba wo ye ware
the bi
nware no
the bi but omu tie de the bi
opie ni ho a odi sofu be ka se ni ko ba bi ko e ro anya me da bi sofu bo ho ma
sofu ya papa dey
wa crash be 12
12
sa so ne bi su nipa dosu
na nipa so na nko we di 12 na
no anya dai
asoro ba ku ko di 12
nipa ba ku but gas no we are friend no we bo kakra no
let's offer say gas
move bio
na esa say 190 na beti ako
oh da bi anointing be na anointing na way so for anointing na way e wo bra wo gira property so na anointing no etimba
etikwa na say yakom
oh so for gira platform so ha o yi nipa say wa nkomo wo die bia no normal
nipa nkomo
but onya ko platform so ha no kai bible no a ho de na
onwo na ba
wanya ne feeling say obeka bibi papa bi a kire wo
kwa kuye sade
na obisime musa boys say na time o sin su kakra no blue film cassette no obi sise na yi
obo de be so no to bi
blue film cassette na no mo onza na
Debi maybe dia na me pay cinema de no tabia me
ukotra cinema ko repolo
Rex hayi adai be ipo no bia me ko Rex odium so ame adai be ye bia me ko
ukowe
Rivoli Bantuma just say ya antwere
say
ayi na to
ko
me no dia na me so me ko me yesu
I don't know what they call
me bad boy na manyini na my bad man
ogu edu ko na ko
me kwa na me
na cinema sa nko fo bebre go na mo hwe ne sasa yi
ye bia tum ye dum ayi no ye so ka ni ano
uzo ko hiwi o cinema na
uza time o ni begu party go to muso no enu de ni enkurase nyina yi
kurase we kono the whole community wo yopodo
ya ka se we we yi ni kwa
ye papa Obinim video no mame na ye mo ye papa Obinim adi nkomo bi
okay
wadi nkomo bi na mpesa boys ye nyina ye hwamra na medi nkomo right
mama mi video way and then phone to koto social media say engine Obinim and da me brebe so me wuo me pa mo chow me ye mu ma any aburo so fuo mo na mo nya ma yie yes finish no me yi ba busuafo afrim ase me koto social media me busuafo nka ho me yiri for so Obinim so nka ho me yi na afrim e say unim dia warrior tie and falling to our warriors so you're careful asama maka no kodwene ho sawaria ye certificate wo awaria ye legal wife yes awaria ya waria ye respect ya kaposo kodwo safo ne lumba ne hwanhwa mo yiye no ke bi mu nya ne tantan sa. If you respect your husband and if you respect your wife, you will never do any, sorry to use this word, any stupidity things. You will respect your husband if you respect your wife. Do the right thing as a husband, as a wife. You claim. But for me, so what I say. Sekodo safo wale na na yere te ase a. Kadiye kwosui obetina as a wife. But our little nuru baby until an emano na yes ano. Te mesremo media net me come ansem. Eda meto hono me ye mebusuafo me yimo frim. Obi ni mebusuama ma ho mo be kokon tokwa wo mi funu ho be hye date ni de. Hey! Momre ye ni bi but enyam na mo be hye date ni be ye. Eda mewuo obi obehye date any tedi be ye me ye ni da ye sie me teta ho ye hwe nyina eye me ma ene aborosofo asa ebusuafo mo bianzim ebusuafo mre ye ni bi but enyam na mo be ye ye na ye aye mamo me ye ye ne meni ebusuani asembia nya me be wuo na mo be pre bibi samre me tiase mo bibi a mo be pre enya mewu na mbepre body ho ayi abeje nsa mesremo etimi wu a mebusuafo mu mfrim me yire Florence so me wu jana o mfrim te me ma no ene aborosofo ekirifo no mo na yie no mo nye den te me ma ne aborosofo na betena se se
Ezeki yoba nti manager nti repeat video. Also repeat video like yoba jira na konso. Boys.
Yeah.
Boys ye wa ko bi ni madi nkomo. Ne nkomo na yetiawa. Oso wa hwe de yekoso owusu ye papa lumba. Ofiri mu koye. Ene ye na very say apostle. De yekoso no. Na oyere de ye veri nto aware so. E veri nto ye yere so. Toro di owu a ne ma ene na sorry for nko na nyina yi na boys asmo okay amma mene mu no oni wono ma obeti makaja busafo eti ma me kasa ye ba de o chere na adwen hu officially wo kan but ye no ye de she ye ba baje ye ayo enti mi sisa
asemu ya o kan no ene anope mi huri ye no mi hwedi amaminya bufu
sawo
minya bufu pa
wanga say yana
nya saba ku se bi di ka se mu
adenti
awu se asofo no so mu eware a omu ntimi enkora wo mu ho
o boys chim efa abufuo ho ana
dia omu ntimi nkora wo mu ho ne se awu se omu ware wo mu yire no a na cha bema bi atisade ono yire tina 15-20 years na fe die ase edema abeba fom woni oba no aye se enuafo so on se wo mo kasa chomu e ma face do
e man se asori de man e kokese
itibeti ma base de mekan ebi wo
okay
ne mprafo ewo
o dabi o boy say no de
asem ka
dabi enya asem ka asem ye papa wusu obinim onye sa
odi ka wi asori ma ama we betia no
dabi de me kan ne say
me wi say expose no o mo ye no
dabi ti boy stop me ne ye ma me Florence akasa ama waka say ne kunu apemu aka no kra che no say emri bi atwam waye bi da pase say wonye sa bi
no na be so be de ka
enti ye ntimi nyina say emri bi oye enti na woye
o ya oye kromfo
dabi
so so agya kro no bo anya fakọ
fakɔ de the boys dear the fakɔ boys Debbie
wɔgye wie o
wɔgye da dear the fakɔ
ba bibi da yie
ne
wo ɔto ɔfa
wa fa bibi antu ha
ɔde bɛkɔ
Debbie tie boys Debbie boys Debbie abuja memu fi boys
na se a me ka kyerɛ wo sɔfo wi bɛka sɛ ti asantefoɔ
sɔfo bɛ oba so ɔbɛpa kyɛw
bɛdi ko bi
ɔbɛpa kyɛw wɔde apology abrasantefoɔ sɛ na no fome na ɔsɛ nka ɔka sɛ ebinom
ɔboa na no mo amfom tie
me kama asɛm sɛ wɔn amfom so wɔn
statement no a wɔka no hwɛ wonim ka yɛnim tie
na sɛ bisum na asɛm yɛ me deɛ ti
kyerɛ mu a so ɔte yɛnim tokuro a yɛsɛ bɛbɔ ato baabi a saa tokuro no wotua no ɛnyɛ yi ɔbɛka saa asɛm no nyinaa akyi no yɛmfi waa kɔpem sɛ afei deɛ wote wotɔne woasɔre dan woma so sɛ wotɔne woasɔre dan pɛɛ na asanteni baa ɛkɔ court kɔgye krataa ba sɛ ɔmpene ma wontɔn
sɛ na yere no
yɛkɔ back ne yɛkɔhwɛ deɛ fire yɛkɔ back hwɛ deɛ fire agye sɛ ne yere ne ko ane wɔntumi control no ho
okay it's no was na no fo no so ko ka se ebinom
ne yire ne ko what man control ho
e no de be frau asante
no de be frau asante fo nyina e ti say no a ne yire show up say o ma ne nye no de so o kirem say nya asante fo nyina ne si a amafo beti na si o ba bi tie ne anim nya sa nim de no yenim say no de ni wo problem tira eti no obeka sa asem no nti ya hwa de yire ni suba no ne fa mu asem no di chapa no obepa no e de yire ne court no de ne ko no
enunti
and watch him now so say we according to some our bros no me say we di bika ba pacha
who so na yire no problem ana
o de na yire na nya problem but the all say and kurega na for ye pe o
boys na say ono so nka so na yire problem
o be na waka
asa o kan ne say efo ni nto waware so o se de onim nyansa beti ase
and am say ye de onim nyansa no na eti ase ne say oni ne yire no problem why say obeti ba kase be wua be yire twere ho ba busu atwene ho what do you say
wutimi nyi omu mfrim
yes upon and ne yire jai wo ya de ye so nkowe do amere do o msire do aba so ohwe no oba de ko we ko ye nwema ne ma de baba ye owu ye oba se oba ye kuna o so mo mpene ma ne ye kuna
na ye kuna
obi anye
oba ma na ye kuna
no
sir
mi jira mu ka no ebeka we yaba ye yere me adam ka say dem Tuesday adam ka say so ma ya support yire no dada na anye kuna me ne abusafo no obi ka
so ma na anye
dem ti ya so ma ko nyinya ska bi afri baabi
to ma na anye
abai mu
o say no dia bike so mo
na me ka
no is it state assisted barrier
to omo mema omo bibia wie ye no afa na omo mo edu
assist can e dey
say omo amfo oba na anye hwe me kokoto oba me chia no ana ka che se bi ne won komo akiri so but me koya me ni abusuari bi didi nkomo no na ye say what the nsaba abusuafo ni ti abusuafo no e wo tumi so mtimi ka omo ma ne nye
so the nsaba
omo ma ne nye
okay
so tiase papa we ni ne yirasam
o de ne ni problem boys
tie me
boys o de ne ni problem
asem bi bai na me di manu tum
na se tete asem
eje tete asem en chele sa
asem na bai
mo de ya na be ya ka no kura mo court nti wusulo court ada
dabi
ye be ko se ka court
boys we dey court asem
bi bai
ye ni ma Florence nye interview be two last month baby what's it be no ni kurunte
yeah Florence ana the bia be kebi man me ma to gospel Florence in kwala penny
what's one ni kuruni problem
me penny yum che o bia wo
boys what's one ni kuruni problem
die wo ni say ebra yes in plan wo bi nya ne plan no ni say mi de man to mu bi na me kan di bi ni Collins say yes Florence bechi awie me da man na di nkomo ka chem say on pemi nkomo
aso ko kan kura asem
Yes, I
am not.
See me, Bakasa Etiano. Well, bless what because Etiano.
And that's what you said the two shall become one.
Say, Cassetiana me and any day. No crana me can't. I don't name a third person. Am I no? Me can't crane say. Some plan and watching. I no.
W. Empress Ma Florence Hajia4real+Sarkodie say ni kunu a confess ya chene say why you be paying
but when I buy any day or see ni kunu no unfriendly that girl da
I don't hear
and what you know when man one you and I'm in a place where I tea massive nasi we no one girl so friend
I don't know confirmation was
one catch them say into a boy dear would you mini ka ukra na ka bukire ba ki papa na o ka bi ma na me si no me pe no kure mo chi ma mo ka se mo antwi mo ka se mo antwi e de ni eja be gum am ye obi ahun se evidence ho ni so what I say
boys
eti dia me pese mouth ase ni se se wo ma ka bom se dia ya no mo do mo se dia ya ben man yansafo bia ni wa obekire dwem akase mi wa mi yirima
wangse na yirima yi na se na bi boys
o
see dai be ma yi hyehyɛ ye no eye mema ene ma sori nka mumunye mabusuafo
o ba o se howo
oh no da bi
what is so
e be ro ba so
o pa bo
abani ja o ka bi za
o se mabusuafo mo ba ti sa howo abachia akọ
Debi o say the yerin hyehyɛ ye
mayamo
meba o say ayerin hyehyɛ ye no ne ma
what is kana
wajiska boys
bo video ni media
bo video ni antie
yes abo video ni bi
what can you hear that o nyina sa atie mu say hey I don't see hey say
bo video ni media
le bi volume
na ko birthday na no ko sasa mo go
video way and then phone to koto social media say engine Obinim and da me brebe so me wuo me pa mo chow me mu ma any aburo so fo mo na mo nya ma yie
yes finish no
me yi ba busuafo afrim ase me koto social media me busuafo nka ho me yiri Florence Obinim so nka ho me yi na afrim eyi say unim dia warrior tie emfoni nti wa warrior so ye careful asema maka no kodwene ho sa warrior ye certificate wa warrior ye legal wife yes ya warrior ye respect ya ka poso ko josafo ni lumba ne hwanhwa mo yie no ke bi mu nya ne tantan sa if you respect your husband and if you respect your wife you will never do any, sorry to use this word, any stupidity things. You will respect your husband if you respect your wife. Do the right thing as a husband, as a wife. You claim. But follow me, so what I say. Sekodo safo wale na na yire te ase a. Kadiye kwosui obetina as a wife. But our little new baby until an emano na yes ano. Temeseremo media net me come on sem. Edametono me ye me bushua for me mo frim. Obi ni me bushua mama ma ho. Mo be kokon tokwa wo me funu ho be hye date ni de. Hey! Mo mra ye ni bi but anyam na mo be hye date ni be ye. Edamewuo Obi obeshe date any daddy be ye me da ye sie me deda ho ye hwe nyina eye me ma any abrosofo asa ebusuafo mo bianzim ebusuafo mra ye ni bi but anyam na mo be ye ye na ye den aye mamo me ye ye nenye me ni ebusuani asem bia nya me be wuo na mo be pre bibi samre me tiase mo bibi a mo be pre enye mewu na mbepre body ho ayi abeje nsa meseremo me yire Florence so me wuja na omfrim te me ma no ene aborosofo ekirifo no mo na yie no mo nye den te me ma ne aborosofo na betena se se papa ne tia se no kan se ne mba
boys
sofu mu ya asem wetimi firi wonum ba wa wo ka legal wife asem wo yira wa ye no ho ade obi anim se gari no osua e na afa no na ade na nantia besi ne na so wu a mo mafuru ro kwa
oh that boys
oh I don't know okay what see mama ye e go mo sise abusua no ne we aka ho abusua nka ho aborosofo ene ne ma ene ko chiche me yire o ba ho
wose mumra yie ni bi wose mumra yie ni bi ba yire wo hyehye no bibi ade
mo ma ho
ne ma ne yire ne na bus na sorry for
ene ye
yes nye ho na be pray japade
eti say no ne yire no we legal wife na so ye dey
we legal wife so
ne legal wife da ka chese mo ma yie ni mu
wose hyehye ho no mo
na hyehye wo ba mo ma mu abere aka ho
ti e wi e be fika chiro decision be take wi e be ka chiro
mo ba ka chiro nipa wo ko ji hyehye free wo mo no e ya abusua awade se eba na be ma no wu a oba ne kura no uja efuru no wadam ekobo abusuafo na mane abusuafo na be hwese wu a paata do mo na na so wo ba no timi na so
debi enye wadwuma no
abusuafo so so breki wo so mo ma omo ba obo bra bi keke abusuafo no
eturo hunu se wanka ne ye
eje se wo hunu se wanka ne ye onu wa hu se do aye no wa preaching the gospel
jowa e pacho zana hukun
wait na oni mu na na de bia odo ati bi ka se me kasa chere na me twante bi
jowa e pacho
wa be see se next week wa pacho wa eji amanfo ni be gunu so odo
babo se nsua de se wo ka se me wu am mabusuafo ma wa wu we so busuafo tu ka se hwe won de na wo che na adwen wu adwen che na wo kire wo ye de se di ba be ye yi
na me ka se anu nti no enka kura preach we ya sorry them no preach o what you say anu na me ka se bari ko bi de no na oni ne yira kun ofie but wo preach no so but Florence in your be a can asem ni bi man no because ka bi man kura no oberi ku
na de
ka da oni bi si ai no
da ko jare kura na
da bi yes a o say ka asem be say no e ka bi man na ko bia unu say de wo kuru de ya no enye fe
the boys the be aware for ntemu asem de the aware for ntemu asem de wo ka bi be about third person no
say do so do I third person ye yina mu
oh ye ba patch
we say me obeka say maka asem no ya wo ma asem ato wo mo wo si ne ma na enye bibia wo mu transe wo mu ye de ye yi wo ma mi free asem papa
Debbie boys kwaku
when ya asem we di gira sorry dem kasa di Obinim maintenance ye said the anu osi ye ne niema ewiase se wonye ska oh nim dia so sire urade no fa ma more than this card
so Obinim se nim dia o
nim dia no sa di o gira o ye
o Debbie say
obi ansori ma de dia se
na oni pardon
the man do me kura no aja
oni nim dia se ko ntimi o
anyway
oni kan pardon mo betima kan do ni pardon say so oni me dia na kwaku kan pardon mo betima
do ba ka say
o anofom wo ho ti no anofom wa na wo kase na no afom wa pa ache yi
ana me say what are yes am so do onyai me ka wasam na hu me na see maka wasam no kure wo mu no maka eti wu dwame a me fa ho bai me wu ajawo wo be wu ajame mienu
yenyina ngu pe
da obi de na yire na wo wu anopa no wo wu anwumre nanu ya
wakugu ano bakugu
ene bakugu anwumre
ano mo ware acha mo ware cha iti sisa
who die enu food policy kura no mu die
oi
we di ne bakugu di ka wi ne bakugu eto aso eda no ha so eti se wo ye die ma bi na nya ye ba si kire dia ka kire wo
boy so mami kwa wi
Supremo
ya papa Obinim adinko
ya papa Obinim makasa na obo atitru mienu din obo ye papa apostle Safo
Katanka
Supremo mpacho kakra woni mfasa papa no na yere no yesen ana ne bro ba ko de mfa sa
ye ne bro ba ko because we say
osan so bo
akofana ma me nko ana ajo Safo so ma me nko
osan so bo be man mu nyamfo ba ko nso din Charles Kojo Fesu wonnim kra no na yere no bro ba ko okay
minimo
oni ka ni obi wo
minimo dobro ni
okay
ena minimo osiasewa
ena obi so wo ye
Denise mami
Supremo me hwe ba bia o building a point in free na you should just come clear wa worry from you
because say we see compare to
omo mienu na wo compare omo say na omo yase na ompese abusuafo na eye
omo so aware do na the problem na ba
na the problem na ba
Katanka issue ya aware do
aware do na the problem na ba
because we man
what be be free balance
mienu nyina ha
what be be free balance enti no say wo worry bia kan yere ho ma ye hu
now me say usuni ho ma dachi
that's problem be here because oman na yetim no ye ka se ye bo asofo miensa and 9 enum a omo yire no matai omo chi ata omo ministry chi a menye sure say obi abodin agya ma me Florence Obinim e won chen
mpa bo a ono timi 40 days non stop demo e papa Obinim ona watani kura chi
o e pachira asem de Supremo ye ntimi ntena nkan because ne enim say e titiro e bom de no ma chira asem be yesi but say ono nko na aware no na sesebe o chena nyankopon say akopa no kwafo kakra ba ye ma mi aso mani bra beka me ho a menyi ni say ye ma me Florence be ha mo chi aye basa
da bida onu kwa na wona na
unless aware fufuro bi wo ho na mma bi nso ta akire wo ba bi ana wusuro se bibi sa beba
okay
den time say ka say ni ne ka say mu no asan so boss ai na nya fe na illegal wife some legal wife some aden illegal wife bi wo ba bi ana
illegal sunsun mu no illegal because illegal ni wa kwanka illegal da
because conversation in na Supremo
we controversial
yeah be asa no kan say me chi na ma fe ni obi be me ne try me illegal and we illegal na de enti sa de me nyina me hwehwe that is all we no chere say
bibi wo ho ana bibi wo ho mumi hu kan ye ni enti ase na ye nhunu
it who say on come clear
yes because said those here no hu Supremo say wo hwe ade ni din a e puti maame in a bad situation
oh yes
so what you want say wo hwe
we we am ho
ana obi anso kura ni ho a ote ase a obepesa sa nkomo bi say kura na be koso
because
obesa o hye wachi ya ya na ofre no
besides we are too young
yes
we are too young for this conversation yeah
e dey na wate doctor ka bibi a kire e dey na wahu nyame ka bibi a kire e dey na ekoso enti obeba be put your wife in a tight situation obeba put wabusu in a tight situation na Supremo me ba busu ano the role of asofo any asofo die no Supremo it goes beyond Bible no kire no nko in our Orthodox churches most of our fathers the reverend fathers very reverend omo bebre no most of them are even teachers some of them teach social studies some of them teach tree amamre ne amane wo mo ono ne kire bebre na church university level church sociology say omo asua de ko akire professor sakase wo kroma se bebre asofo
o ma kika nsem wi
omo kira de kira mamre kira mane e kire se de esi tena ofie ye values to some George Monson na kan they teach and to Supremo it goes beyond Bible kire no nko a bibi ka ho nyoma bebre ka ho now de ka ho ni bi ne Supremo amane mu amamre mu sofu eti say papa I don't think say asoreba ekuna to na asoreba no officially enko inform ye busua ema busua so ntubo for ma mehwe
no mo ne emeka bom say
no mo asore ne abeka cho say brabe ye awufo som unim say eyi wo so manso because abusa na so for sorry anu afa Bible afa address say ma sorry ba sin kunu da form enti ne me kwa no boys who be me free ba no oh yes enu nti na even sorry dem kra si agi aware hira aware so a so fu bebusa say papa when no asori papa oma ba fia be ye de wo so omo ye because so for appreciate amamra ni amane enti no wona wo lead a whole congregation wona wonim sa nyoma we nyina wo say wo do to aso ntim say da bia nya ne sa asem ne ba ukwa no mo so aba obi aba behwe na abusua pani ahu di obeye na abusua pani aye say ni atena say you don't come and then say these things to us. You don't do that. Now nobody see bisa asem bi enti say no are you indirectly telling us say ochina bi say ukoja wo yira e ma wo yiri ndiku na na. Is that what you are trying to tell us even though one chada anya clear sana be so ka kire wo say eyema any abroso family obi any problem Robert pa na sorry man be play apart from so mo be ba say e bia bibis and supreme I'm not even comfortable talking about papa ni wo abra wo nwuye on that nkomo bi wa I'm not even comfortable talking about this supremo and you know how do you tell us say asore man no e wo ro nti asore man betimi aba be e de omo input aba no maka chen grant say dem mo yenye no the 17th we so mo yenye no the 15th na oba te wo no aka ne session de brief na buzu apan ya buzu apan ni to we dey asem ni ya ko ya na se bai enkomo ben I think say amaye e bia na ne nsem na no be so chechem nya sa na no chechem what put in a
free baby
supremo on ne yera ko a on to send you many years fear because I said oh yeah man to say bibi ato na unya oyere that is what you are trying to tell us and now no so for be try beginning ya antiase 2 3 4 5 years later you be who say no mo kran that time no mo ko enti no kan na ko fan ko fo bibiri or dey attach obia supremo this is a woman what na wachi for so many years in Zambia bebia yes in Zambia bebia she will come out publicly to tell us say and from so e nipa ho no the otaniku this is a woman yes well she has been a pillar behind your ministry sometimes also sacrificing the music career and all that just to make sure say one me can tell you say Ghana force no say wakoye na no wakoye ne hene wakoye ndende one me can tell you say no ni kunu ministry enyina say de wo say gina entin wo gina ye fasting
40 days fasting non stop
and na sir one me can tell you so how do you come back to tell us say say ni panu hiana so ne yere go through a divorce we ya minim and a minim so mo go through a divorce here on find the appropriate way or person me okachire on country on person be kachire so won twen wo hia say assembly na esi na ye tokwa on so nti na sorry mpanimfo ne ade wo ho but he shouldn't prioritize a sorry for ahead of Nayere ahead of Nabusia say omo obibiji wo no ho a kan o say busua na obibiji wo no ho a omo megine sisi e nti no kre papa abusua pani ba o sisi abeka kire say wa apartment ba ko a e wo so enso kwan so fama me na menhwe so ma abusua ene ya wo tia se wo ben
ye paper na to win and ye
yes no wa kire say bibi tum ya say ni na kwa ya fa ye no na publicly supremo wo ye say ya
sema
what you me to be frank me nyɛ comfortable crowd with a man a what ase a ye name so ye health no supremo it is very very bad
it's very bad
and our sound so ye nipa titru ye society no it is supremo these things nah
kokobere ketu bi na me be kamo de no there is this trend that for air koswa I think say we need to go back and take a look at it again kokini na eji wudi say eji for
so supremo yes almost someone say because of distraction video meaning say video be bow e chire dia
manager ubo video
because any part two na dey na ba meaning say be a video be bow e
check your background
almost a background
video be our say
okay
all right kwaku kakra na me dey count there is this trend that ekoswa I feel say it's quite worrying ye nyina ye GD4 ye nyina we are all believers so we are traditionalists so we are muslimini and we are Christian so we je ye GD bia no kwaku ye ji waware wo islamimu a ye ka kire mo say mumi no maka bu ma be ye one ensiwa say traditionalists ye ji akure eja free ne maame wa na mu ka ne fie me ka ye customer ye ka se mumi no maka bu mo ko chechire mo busua Christopher ka say the two shall become one you know, just asking me. But a come here, say, you're penning for no, Casabi Domano. Or you're ready when you were bushing. Who could you when you were bushing? It's one you were bushing. Wabushing in a way.
Umuja na nkasa
wabusuani no ene wan because say we yere nye wabusuani a we yere ane na kogun se uma ema esu be hu se wo ene wo kunu no wo ne we yere no ene yema omabusuani kogun ye kase trace wabusuani obebo ma me di obebo papa di eta o ma me papa si omumi no yere nye na busuani a wan na busuani eya yesu ba bi a eya ye tai uche upe obi obacheche ore a wan ko kunu abekọ yere ho sa asem kire wo so na pobi na di nkomo a enye wo yere be ye kunu eto de den a wo yere ni kunu mum na meka bom na maye asori ko fom wo yere ni kunu meka bom na maye e business e na ne man koyi a mum na meka bom na se eto de den na fe e de ne ba e na wo yere de because o ka se bi pafo ni to wa ware so but me nim say nye ye papa ye maame influence Obinim a ye papa Obinim e bia na nka barista bi anka wonte ase because ye nim dey won go through me kai time a expose kene Japan ba so obi you my one sorry man nyina no buja sorry no maame tigina wachi etanase epem ya kopim say
jama ya no kura zenye no kure
yes epem ya kopim say wo sa sorry gira wo na so engosi wa emma na wo se wo mu na de wachi jo mo na emma me we na wo mama it is when you obusuani wan wo obusuani one say emma na wo trust wo mo say memma we na hwe machi no wo ne wan e wo mo eyesa wo ba akro ya yente se wo gira ba bia ka se me yiri Obinim wa ye bi say da ko what Obinim wa sa mo ne da
batun
dia manfo de bo Obinim achia ne say for Obinim say na yere kunu nya ye kra ya kra wo se wonye ye ai on de ne kunu ya de kra nya kra wo se wa ye wonye sa but eno so kra chese wo ye woman of virtue wa fa ne se medie no se nye wo ai bibio me gira na chi bi wono na wo ye that part I was very embarrassed say I would for the 2 hours so for free.
It gives you the notion what is going on in the marriage.
I for the feeling to warrior so. Meanwhile, what are sorry preachers are warrior for worry. Meanwhile, what sorry one. So bad the baby warrior, we cancel mom. Will you tell them someone for money to a monso? What would they make what I say? What marital councils and marriage councils and everything. Send Pammy who has already been warrior. You sit them down, who preach you. We are sure so about 2 minutes to catch them say, who moko warren for into the source of wedding to the so. Who catch them say, Mummy and Munko come Namunya on a back. Namunya, the baby. Now, what the same person is telling you, some year if you need to a warrior, so what are you trying to say? Send your music and so wouldn't say when we hear problem across of it. And from me preaching. So we are sure say, so what's up from we beam? I'm a
this time around.
No, what's one plan?
Yes.
Find a way to solve it. And ya na babe preachy abe say ena me yere for into our year so sakasa na kasa enye entwaye e man o me bi mai from Obinim yenim kwa from Obinim agire ni kurachi kwaku enye no ye papa enwon nsema ba wo kai say bi am time ensema ba ye
enye no
mami teacher ya wan cheki ne ho da. And then the whole 10 year around by say, what if we need to warrior so warrior warrior. Meanwhile, what's your marriage council or sorry? We marriage council. Ah, who 2 hours for sorry.
Wow.
They 2 year day. May never hear your problem, never be catching. Kwaku send company the first place I need to go to am sofu. Say, oh, me hame. Me kunu hamia. Eye me sofo me ba no na me sofo timi gina de wiase nyina nim ka kire say aware wo de aware fo ni to aware so a me de ba kam de a
David we lose you kwa ayinim
papa wan ka say me gidi say by next week Sunday die wo ba betwe asai aka kire say enye sana na wo pa kire na ye nyina because sabra bi na woman we di wa ye bia ma from Obinim di wa ye bia ma pa yo Magudi be kawana.
O supremo wa boss said also boss wa. O boss said no also boss wa. No bi ka say said na ne sia bring a legal wife na. Unse na ma me so na saman sense bi ba na so ne legal fo bi di nkomo ne ada do. Obi to be one
so ope ma say was because of Obi
can tell them and corner no corner nipa no so in life we are at risk and I said na but supremo entry said okay entry
on some review on some review
entry
kwa there is a quick update bi am person so me dem na ye movie on ye queen ewo RNK on na yere Joanna Queen won sensem no
hey
Tuesday no mo court
oh
da be ba no
Wednesday.
Yes, but the Court was it Tuesday and Wednesday now? I think that was on Wednesday now. I'm court maybe. Tuesday, 2nd May, 2nd June. And I'm court. I'm call a family court a Wakra. Omawari J in same year. Who's already know? Our my divorce proceedings started in 2021 by 2026 year judgment Abba. But my Joanna Quay. Traditionally Joanna Kofi was one telling was on the lawyers or both feelings a judgment in any fair. It will not finally for appeal. However, on my filing for injunction say ma Richard Yamakwe and Tony Shay Tony Japadibia until Sapino. It's appeal pending a maintenance pending appeal. Say injunction and hold the copy say can't appeal the way. Tuesday no almost I file another petition. A petition nyina mu nyina na simple. Eye Joanna essay or the videos evidence by court. Say eye Hajia4real. Ohun say Hajia4real is no morally right. So betete ne ba. Or say court na e ka di asem na first no hye say enkwa na be ko weekend. No masa ko during vacation. Yes. Na or say those days na nkra ne ko ho no e Hajia4real ene tete nkra no Hajia4real ne nkra ne te even na Hajia4real a bad influence on the man so say Hajia4real ex convict wakodam prison aba ensi wa osade video some of Hajia4real's videos online e be kire wo court osade one video ana Hajia Joanna ba girl no na say also so ne to video mu ewo and I utira Hajia mu nyina wona so no twerky or something enyina be kire court say ohuni say wo jaiman nkwanda so call Richard Yamakwe wono ma Hajia senema na ompeni ma high convicts we morally bad entertainment kwa neski na you ba no Richard as lawyers
okay
I respond here first of all almost say Joanna Pay keep saying say Hajia and Empran Hajia was in a shade Hajia or me for keke or me and for keke yan Empran Hajia4real which I near my quiz yan Emprano and you are was say obi o divorce krade ade na moda so refer say empo sen kana dan funi obi ade na mo refer to the person as concubine because onye warefo no aka say o chempra on preview baby na Hajia de na danfo again was this a court eg petition tuma na court no abuse the natural justice of Hajia because he say Hajia net the baby na makofa na babeshim as third party or some one opportunity no so dey extra na adwen
okay
e ka di onu so nim it's any right a lot of things went on in court emma edu a chire kura no almost a chire mu say said about 40 years and Bearman 11 omo chire mu say asema judgment ye die wie kura de ade na family court we na e be betena so aka ho asem and also kura no they don't think say a right e ko twa say judge say videos ni nyina okwa kohwe na we take the decision 26 June omo samra na omo ba de oho bia no be dey obeka che eye omo so a petition atom say days and kware kodi e wo trazako omo kire mu say fie ho no e Hajia RNK one nete nti nkura ne ko omo mpesa Oma is converting a morally bad person, entertaining man. Kwaku de kosi your court Tuesday no. Mesima meka bi ankyere wa.
So mo me do be ka kyem say mani age. Aya na maso. Esa na say episode no nyoma e
ko. Ba say na hwe ne hagia.
All right.
Nya na hwe ne.
Yeah, say.
Brema ansa na boy say bomo.
Okay, Supremo me da CP. The bia yete ye hu another twist to the course.
So omesa ko court on the 26th.
On the 26th of June. The bia nya another twist and anytime bia for bia interesting check previous one. Very interesting. That's a previous one. No. Na Joanna metenase.
What
metenase obi free ban because our rejaye dey obi ntimi dispute the fact that our rejaye ye twem ana as ense dey nesi. Na esi wie nso na se munya issues free mu a mumie no mo interest mo common interest issues no. Issues being a mofrana appear free our anymore. Munina mo per common interest. Munina mo person mo say education to say. Or munina mo to say lifestyle. Or mo food because a true there then I say oba no say or ye bibi ne nko yi a ofa fo na be friend papa say e bi akra ne ba ho yi ne nkasa because na nse na no suban bi ne nyoma even though you are still not married.
But nkra na ba mutem
yes. Bibinia on person or the be see ma me say akra ne ba me vacation so wo ye ayi bi nto de oba mo ni ko and not ye no na ho na mo common interest
at the end of the day mama
yes at the end of the day mama nti ho na mo common interest no but we are revising your ma we also okay judgment in a buy na also mo fra na ba and you see from what you are telling me I think say Joanna doesn't have a problem with enkora no so mo ko papa
Debbie.
That is what I'm getting from what you're saying.
Sometimes it's her.
Okay, so her interest with nipa ayo moko handle over. So now it is up to her to prove say if you na ya me dem man kono abribia me kono na nipa asmesi wo ho. Yes, it is now up to her to prove it because now there's
the video evidence
and two Osi nipa no onye in a good moral standing. Say obetimi ahwe me mama me. Okay, nti so bi mo dey no page na so. Nipa no ebia ompese oba ebe wo around obi asebe oso musiem.
Yes, oso say yes convict.
Enti no nipa no ne ebusa oso musiem ana. Ompese bia o ma be wo around obi asebe wakwakoda prison aba. Prison no bia yi kan trotto no so. Ana ye ntwantro anto no so. O di nti no ko mu. Sa fact wo ho a e kire say nipa no boni say no di ya na ni akwa akohwe say nipa ya ye kan bibisa ho
bibisa ho
ebia me mpesa me ba no ebewo around obi asabi oyiyi no ho basa e de kira mansan enioma wo ho a e kire say nipa no sa no wote ana en de Ghana for na mo amahwe na mo judge enti me nye comfortable say me ba be nyini around such a person tini abusa say odika na onika.
Okay.
Supreme was wanted them to what you say any panocrano, ne ho nsɛm abɔnten a ya na publicly nkɔfo ne ne ko ana wo ne nkɔfo ko on issues wɔ ne ho ɛfa nkɔfo kunu nom nsɛnsɛm bi a wɔ abɔnten ye de din bi totototo ne so saa nneɛma ne nyinaa na say judge ne kɔ akɔhwɛ o hwia now the other party is saying say nipa no kɔ a wo bɔ ne di nya me hwe no entinya ne hwe no dia okay again Matthias ye nya o hwe no but yes also through my lawyers akwa say nya o hwe no dia ne still na me man betima ba but ye betima ye bibi e betre say me man be fie ho but nipa no emmen no in a way na nipa no fie ho what I say
me no wajas what tin chem nipa kro ba fie ho
eh Dabi Supremo betima
me no wajai but tin chem nipa
ba fie but won say me beja na ade e wo ho.
Okay.
And mad na me beja wo ho means me ncho ni pe be me fie ba mad na wo ho influence be na at every point in time ankora no e be ba ho no obenya won so.
Okay.
Supremo, are there videos out there nipa no one issues na ye me ma no one omu pia na. Are there videos a one omu air for flight?
Okay.
Are there videos a one omu hanging around?
Okay.
What did I mention I say?
But in the end, are you not bringing the case to me? What do you more bring?
If I'm bringing it to no, Supremo, me they bro all right. Because one na what the major stake no one kwada any. Omo a wo den kwada no onso be handing kwada no over the man no. Me interest wo ho. Me ni nje ho no. It means me interest e met any pan internet baby a wo ti e be me dem see dem go ka say e me ni pan internet won che. Na emo no omo a won so hand over Supremo eni. Yemfa ne say e bia na bia wife akra so me call wenchi aba
Okay.
na bia boys yi wo nchen na wife is me call wenchi bia Friday meba Sunday na wife call na Friday na supreme menya gig enti no me call swadu na wife be buza ne nkoda no wen o so me de nkoda na koma boys bi wo ghetto bi be say supreme that is basically what we are talking about. Yes, I'm here mame because some dey safety and security omunim street omunim grounds it will be entering fan and sanka wife be concerned.
Okay, but if I say
that's basically what we are talking about here. It's you know one problem sir want to be can say and say anko for now o dey o nante there be
but me be ko
there alcohol na what am me problem o
it won't okay so
oh supremo
okay
supremo okay spa because your videos e wa bonten na me busa say videos wa bonten a e kire say at a point in time
videos don't be
bad one and then na mana onu omo through plane bi ana omo ye small party bi ana omo ofie na your number of videos are if you na wutima me den kra ne ban say nipa no nso ofie wa one kra no hang out esa you say no
ko be so nka say as a join na ye difficult
da bi supremo enyanduru ba bi a me meka so wayere ne nsem ne bebu no
onyanye ne
da bi enyanduru on activate 15% kra
ontinye difficult na wo
enyanduru ba bi a obeka so wayere ne nsem ne mu bebu no enduru ho kra o men ho ba bia eya asem na aba ana right from day one ya handle asem ni ana aba beduru ba bia aba beduru no ne man de I think say ono akra be pese weekend bi ana vacation bi ono aba driving ne man de akọ but omo aye jam kwada no in their care na ho no problem so you can say of course say nipa won ware ne de ene onye no official a obi buza so girl abet maka say no girl and minim say ne girl o to aka chem say ne girl dia me did say again ne girl yes me did say ne girl but me concern here say nipa na wo jam man ma wo mo no me ne nje ho
to say boys
yeah
Rashad Ni Amakwe, one of the richest young men in Ghana, he's doing so fantastic. Or inspire a lot, and he's inspiring so much young men, investing heavily in Ghana. We employ thousands and millions of people. You far, or yeah, Juma, Now, there issue is what follow. Boys, there Sadia Asako file another petition. That's the way Tiawa or say Hajia4real, Eben and Manadodo. Any agro so seen many di agro no ex convicts are all prison body and then morally when you right one better tell the mama no Joanna had your voice
me dey me ni say our dey no busy be group
who say Joanna busy be that's how dey go be
na one so on bet
our dey say go ma dey vote ba
na adenti in a state Oma miru nyamiru
baba ko
be baba na so o de ekofie
na weekend omoko ombapa wo na vacation so mako ombapa wo
e na girl no
according to omo no girl no eye omo papa no ene Hajia neti according to omo petition of the coin no omo say Hajia ne ironic neti that is in their petition.
Oba no ontwa so because say bibie no obeti makama
omo de so mako file say that days na nkwane kodi omo papa no muntwam na nkwane ni days no ono nkwane ho because omo kwa di pakro tete nkwane ma no mpe
ero de ko ukomu a or points but be ma so do the man ontwe ma
okay because wakanta one wakanta so ontwe
because say obi ono we matured e obi bia
hey Dave
we matured obi bia ho na obesi ni kwai o na nigie bi ho se ni ma obi nti mo ni ma no ma ho
sa no so che say that means I say choose between obi no me ma sa no say akoye yo either say ni pa ne ma ho ana say me ma ho ai bibisa on cancer, but a year bibisa.
But say we or failure emfa.
Judge,
the one failure.
Judge, you say 26.
But me I say, omun come more bano.
Omun can be more bano.
Be man say on say so un grado.
Okay.
nso nka se mane hu om but say aya wo gya me mane mankofo bi
mani nye ho
nipa bi
saa nipa no
me mani nje ho
obe say me ma
saa nipa no according to Ghana no ade da hor kra no eno Ghana fo ntimi nkan na wo abeka
say no ntin so na ama no so nya comfortable so asem wo na say ye ntimi nkanwe ya na ase ye mu nika ada na wo de me me be mbe
ani ono so nya de a obatwenti maso de ne e reverse
ti
ekwa
na
ba
saba
we ya nwanfo asa because enya de a be ma ne betwa ma say ohu ni ba no
kwako menya ko bi tisim eye ye maame abna owo eye US person o chena dwen it's no maame connect no na ye mfa ne nka ko na ho na also opposite o chena dwen ewo
yeah and cornerstone say I do really support Joanna on this girlfriend or not she shouldn't be allowed she shouldn't allow her children around her children
now otifie
what is so petition is one in that say hello
hello good morning
manager my pick call hello
good morning
yeah good morning Mr. Abraham passion way
Yami adumo na so
Yami adumo mo se komo e di asa we interest wo
wa be dey I was in adru sa na se me ho keka me
we me
fa mutam ga na me fa ncha boyski the lover boy boyski na cho here dey
where the lover boy
yeah boy the lover boy dey say ka me ni kuna ka me be pe ne twempana
and then just one over Ghana because of workers or US rank or Mao.
But I won't say or boy when you will be or don't come in down here. Okay. Until no or because soon will be no between Prada or boy soon my boyfriend or what is and my friend. When you say we are sitting now, Obama can answer. Santa say utie radio stations bi edura no power boy na maye nhira ko ba bia no wo che a me chia tiefo nyina nya me hira tiefo nya ndi sa na wo na me fe papa tini ade chi bia na me ko prof ma ko ba bi obo na ja be be na eje ma wa kwa gine nsem nhira me support no papa asem bia wo kan bia me ta na chi na ja ba ko pe na me asem ne na anko be nkronti me ye so wo boy e chi wo sa na na ja maske po me hwa kwa na be ya me ya cause me do boy pa okay supremo I nke we oda so peni kunu no na omo mi no me hu de odi omo mi no na ye na ju so wo ja ya ware
One
Obana Jawara.
Miss Opero.
Ode no person wakana be man be pana jo say ma de timi kana me say na nke janka be man pana cho na be man ampa cho pe be man pa because woni me eja ya wi akosense bibia wo court we na se me ba me nchen a afina ba be kire se won pra bi ofu me be se won pra ne nkula ne be di agro de wakeka kan de no ne de wo ho eno ne be kire na sabapa no kwa ye obi a wo no nyese pa na ono so pe obi ono so aranki ono so da so pe ne yire no no mu mi eno ne man kitengiti bi no mu hu de we on be se me frɛ me kan e kan so betimi de wo ko be ankwa na dro no papa ne timeti nkula no o se Ghana mra na kwade nya say 7 years ultimate nema Iti ko betimi atene makra afa ne mananka wo mum na nka ma be di weekends wo nchen ena na kwaku ka se bia wo no nya na be kire se obi obe ka se ha me de me makoja mikunu enti so de nkana akoja gato no no we different we ne gato no anka start ni fie na nkola na eben ako se Hajia4real ni maid se wo prapra ho ma na so sesi nkola no ene de wo no nya wa asema ana wo hwe videos no so kra e kona nkra no so ye comfortable with Hajia4real no edu kra na wo ma mi kra kwa wo nche kra mo ko mo nto wo mo sa wo hwe asa akula ni ne ma mi esa ni we ni lati so mo nya ni gie free Hajia4real ni nche omko ena nko mo nya ni gie wo ni nche anka nkra no ben or from crown come near that video cause one share colana I can crab me any videos in this kind of fair you know and videos are mobile me share sana so an unclane sana anyone na I say na for it dear drew bed in crowd
and yes a video now when the near the to swama ama production na you but and yes a video now.
But we any GhPage video now. This video is once a mamaka. Is that right? I can 1 second spare Mr. Fama Minamine. And Frank, I'm going to no.
Yeah, so.
Okay, you video, and some of us are already am about to mini ho. I am asking to me because we say approach and who quack this or who know. And two, I am American about the way. Oh, Vanessa Visagia and Bana said the bush and Nibia Visa, not the sister him, Obia Lahana said Nikuno, Ewa Visa Beta Bejan and China, Bonnie a woman or anything.
All right.
The climbing on about Coca, can say Uncle Fanny couldn't fail for Mumra. Now, Cranna didn't prepare in the court for boys kid when you in Sania Mano. Papa, you could find it from a friend from Baya, or Jolly I say, Mamma, walk crap or could deliver patchy. I have a call what that bed, no so couldn't pay attention to that sort of blabbage now with an inch. Never the air crossing in auntie, yes, Ramo. Meaning the Rambusia can't find him in Temoka crown, Madame Masipa. Oh boy, I say, no number, I'm a French and Madame Bamba show. But then you are for half an hour time and I remember.
Which made the
Go
Supremo.
So, that little I can say, and I say, but well, they say, if we are Asa. From the onset, I kept saying, he said, the way I not a drug issue, let me catch us at December. You see, beginning now, court. We didn't catch GhPage. So, pills and not on pill. I feel as a time can solve near my time, can also can fast solve near my new stage. We say, Pancasa. Say, oh, you need it. First time American court, Nemo demanded, they no pen. Say, and it's yaba. First, we see what say. First, I'm saying compensate me, Namenko. But the same who said there be, say, me compensation, the crowd was me. To say, me, young China for the deserve mammy. Every day of a new thing. It can begin in also compensating. No, can we so compensating and can we in Anka?
Matias,
beginning of Mudica share or Cassa Munya Wareno or Cassa 50 million. No, call the baby 50 million net also. Obinim say it's too much. Maybe I'm counting the Kaya, KB 10, 15 be crab between the amano. No, call the baby. Satam the boat to the yams up to me now, suddenly we are betting in answer. But he said, I say, you did the moment could do stage in the Niati. I feel almost say, I say compensation. I'm a cassa for my name in Corocrano. Say no, so I feel dear a seminal. See, the conversation has turned entirely. She say, your compensation or premium. She say, the almost no deserving and on a watch. Because company I started here, me 10% share. Say, that company no sooner when generally making company in the year. She say, a $1 million company may give me 10% in a womb. And yet, no, I'm not trying. If you in a major media womb, Casa what to in a major media womb. Oh, she say, and it's your bar. What a problem, no boys. The American boys, what I say? She say, and it's your bar. So, first, no, it's in war. First, one can they know so a pie, Mamiska. Ena okaso mufi no pefie ba ko pefie bebrebe ni no so pe ba ko pe ena cars cross ro ka say o pe cars tu se se ni nyina se ni ti aba
bibia sasa
a file foforo
and say this application na dey twobo se se won say ani ti aba se se nye de me ka say as a patame ni biem se first na ye
me contribution to adwuma na hyase no na aboa amo etima bie nyuma bebre nti nyuma bebre na wa bie na me hu ni se me die wo because first adwuma na me contribute ye no ana ama watima bie saa ndwuma nyina nti ho nyina me ba ho bi
first na fie East Lagos ne yi nyina na fie bebre nyina se me mpe wo de mam danso ma de no se ni ti aba me mpe no nko a me pewe e say cars ni nyina me pewe se ni ti aba
o se boys bar RASH HOUR che ye na it me update you
boys what the problem na ba it can beginning what's the problem has always been one thing from the onset na o ka say pattern no hwe so pattern no nko enye saa ne ni beti na ne tibia afi obe hawo
na ede no mutwi mu saa
wo se first ne ire no kure na bi say da bi me so patawo de ko ba no
na se be ma so pe wo
me so patawo it's a ya ba cho ko
patano a se wo mpa dia wo ye ne ntem
se nti enko court
wo ye ne ntem na ma ne tenen se free ho ani tie na di lady audio maduru say cause first no se patano ka hwe so patana enka bibia to atwa ba wa patano we na dwen se o menim fama ena se na ni akote ena o se anase patana mti patano kwa na nya hwe afi midie wom bia meje ani ni ne
this is apart from a forward year na niam de obaje
e say no unse first no court no
so patano
gini nyina unse nyina so
patano 300,000
ena Richard na e say no wasesa ne lawyer no ama na new lawyer no ye former NPP attorney general odam ne lawyer eno odam ne no tena se no do be chem anasa o ground deserve we edi am kwanam kwajema first na lawyer bi na lawyer ni free wini ba na faka ba ho normal lawyer
normal one say ni ya kire say
eti afi na ni ati
akofa ko lawyer
ese wa follow ye ni
ati teacher di omo ye we o scam wo ba o eti say we di politicians agura say wa wura mu ni na na kese adi say kuro mu mienu
Tuesday no so da me ankasa na ba court
na ono ankasa na ba court
Tuesday da me ankasa na ba court
ono ankasa na sa
this particular issue
bo so na mu na ba
time no se patano no se nko hwem patano no ko meji say oh ma ho di ntimi say na metimi na wo de wa patano say na nkoko say no one na come say legality about how the 10% shares na work quick credit or start a company ni mu wa kwase say di na 5 free nyina no abi legal issue say kwan ben so e na fa ya fraud issue who say e bie nsem so
si oba no
exactly say no nkoda nche no o ma file case to police station say abi say wo no we ni say ya ni nyina no waso akọ report am say ai odam ya throw letter come IGP so mo per resource on waso obuno ofa say e nsem so
the letter ni bi akoma muntaka de bi akoma enkora gender minister na mmema na enkora
na obuno de bi amana ba social media
na watra de akọ case police station that one say obi anka since 2023 to 2022 into
they say no so be different issue we da ho it's had an affairs na ka patana kasum biaba
ni nyina new lawyer ya na yesa
say o mu de wo audi
Supremo message so excellent submission on the RNAQ and Joanna's case.
Okay.
It is synonymous with the Mandela stakeholder matrix, if you have come across that theory before. And I hope that the judge will apply such strategic theory in his judgment. The welfare and well-being of the children should be salient and utmost priority. On the theory, no, a management tool, a business tool, be a one Aubrey Mandela, and the buy. So it talks about some factors, be power, interest, a whole lot of way, and you used to decide stakeholder or matter most when a situation happens. What I say, into a banner say now, and Quadano, because my friend, say everything looks as if and sounds as if say Emkrano so kwa or many jiwo there be lady no the said lady no enchen but Emkradia sometimes Emkradia no
na Emkradia say we go fio let me game
what I say because everyone is supremo ma
Emkradia so mo kodi illegal wife
supremo if you na supremo wife e per se Emkradia be fie bia omo books or omo kan Omoba Supreme so omo ice cream no de omo akoshe dem. I can say wine and crantem de ombe no.
Yeah, but
wine Supreme but omani jeno Supreme but
wine
can no, so the interest about power, high power, low interest, high power. So that is exactly what you are talking about. And when they go back to court, you be who they be free more.
The 26 true. But these all this that I keep saying is Arikyo. You should have sought
3 weeks.
3 weeks on Messako. Judge is also videos now. Almost submit as the evidence.
Videos that was a
on Bessamity. Some videos,
so those all about it.
Your debut of your friend. Kwaku na a Kufu emergency. Say, time your friend.
I go for emergency. Confornochi. Go for emergency.
And then, of course, we letter about one thing say, mobile for emergency more. Now, no bed.
The
letter came out. I think that is the letter. Yes.
So Confornochi Teaching Hospital dated 2nd June at exactly 8:26 p.m. So Confornochi Teaching Hospital Accident and Emergency Center full and unable to admit new cases management.
Okay.
The management of CAF has announced that its accident and emergency center was full and overflowing with waiting patients and was therefore not in a position to admit new emergency cases for the next 24 hours. It has consequently urged the public to make use of peripheral hospitals in the region until the situation at its A&E center improves in a day or two. In a statement signed by the head of its public affairs unit, Mr. Kwame Frimpong, and released in Kumasi today, the hospital noted that the A&E center, which was originally designed as a 37-bed facility, currently has 61 patients on admission at its orange, yellow, and red critical wards, with 34 others in a queue waiting for their turn. The statement said in order not to unduly endanger the lives of critically ill patients, the hospital has deemed it appropriate to temporarily curtail further admissions so that the backlog of cases could be attended to in the next 24 hours before new ones could be admitted.
Okay. Right. Going to whereby, you know, now for boring regional minister, say, Conference Ukrainian baby na. And I won't know what they were here and they were mere war brutally. I think so the statement by when they were solving that problem.
But in the Facebook.
So. Okay. Where for my Minister of Health?
We need to come by. Okay, we can't buy. So query regarding the way after no. Odi can yeah, okay. Odi can come the Supreme can be later na we no so buy. Okay, in can we no. So when they are all right. So this is a query regarding the Confornochi Teaching Hospital Accident and Emergency Center full and unable to admit new cases management. Okay. The Ministry of Health has taken note of a statement with the above caption making rounds on social media. Further, the head of public affairs of Confornochi Teaching Hospital was also heard on Channel 1 TV News affirming the decision of hospital management on the inability of the emergency center to admit new cases. This is contrary to a clear directive of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, to hospitals not to turn away emergency cases. Yeah. You are by this letter requested to appear before the Honorable Minister of Health on or before 12 noon on Thursday, June 4, 2026, to explain why disciplinary action should not be taken against you for contradicting a clear directive of His Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana. This letter is basically calling on the management. Say, I'm ready in any quasi a punish. Yes. Say, Mobaka say, Mobians. All right. I'm sure Regional Minister there. Ne post. On I think say he made a post on his Facebook.
In the Facebook page.
Yeah, in his Facebook page.
I thought you've seen it already. On was say the problem has been. There be media send one, or he wrote something attached. Kwawu.
Supremo.
This is what came. I think said there is a short video we can watch, right? Manager. So wanna highlight mommy, wanna. All right. So, Kwawu, the regional minister Asu-B post to say the problem has been resolved. Or say problem has been resolved now. one CEO of Confanoche ne facility na transfer no more resume obi abetimi de aba emergency aba na ni teti ane say one other health sectors in Washington region o ma distribute omo no more than omo ato omo kakra no it is space about you have got video no but regional ministers yes one of these so better no say na yera wo okuja na yera mana yera ko amo no so emai ko Confanoche 10 people away. Health minister is upset because President Simeon Teni will be away. Initially, the center is worth about 37. Now they give us 60 something. Who is at fault?
Supreme Wing at fault. The system has failed. The system has failed. It's as simple as that.
System.
The system has failed. Supreme. And no, you did kind of. If you continue to politicize everything, see ya ni be hunu ne de bia. Supreme, we're in this country. When the new government took over, the minister, doctor, or call Kumasi, Tor, hospitals, Mekaipa, Okoseria, or just kind door. There is a video out there.
Yeah.
Call military hospital
Ferry.
Kasane Wafa, obey Sha ye be to president and Mashama, Yashan Wafa, and Munyam, President Kofo. Syria the no so mo be hwe no ma ye no ma twega to mo mo say light ni ho ne ade ade besi ne and Syria self sa kwa for military hospital ko hwe e ho Supreme we were in this country and now the health minister e ka kire say I just say omo ni fans omo betoa agenda 111 so dey here
okay
Supreme
ko go say skinny wo ye
Supreme
ko skinny wo Dabi obementi de wo chase ne sika de wo no nya den
ane enton se sika ni no na se mfaso ni so aye enton
dabi afidi e piska
American system na failing no Supreme the health minister told us say and under the previous government na agenda 111 no I think was under the
so we about finance
ministry there be na ye under the finance ministry o se bi
so what special initiative
it wasn't under the health ministry
yes
now omo government iba you know president had directed say yem fani na ma measure the health ministry na
yes
omo ya transition no questions be no mbusai edintina the previous government na ka say ensure a particular ministry bi say works and housing ministry say the finance ministry
I think that was special initiative
na and the dintina na yepese ye nentem say the be solve some problems bi
how many did Nanado finish
Supremo oma nwie bi I think say the Nanado me ha many I think say na endru 10
me ha complete with me
omo ka kire say I omo bia betimi aye adwuma o hwe ofori krom o hwe I think say trade the side ho ba bi o be hwe I think say bantma ho ba bi omo bubo bi so ana at least omo say you operational
omo say you operational
yes I betimi start running aye adwuma because omo start agenda 111 omo starting in them
omo starting in them
cry
I think say after the COVID or say during the COVID
ni mu na the COVID has exposed the health system no enti nyina yen kamum ne anya agenda 111 ohopi so betima hwi ansa no akọ wentima nyi no krede e ba akọpe but Supreme e ba ye no nanka ye transition ni ehunu say ade no ehia enti nyina ho na anya agenda 111 ade politics NPP for eswa omo MPs any media for bi ekọ ofori kromo na some facilities ka kire say are you ready yembie na employ sisters and brothers na wofie no no mo meye adwuma NDC for ni bi nso ka kire say enye operational yeni weewum ye wie na nkomo no kogu ye say ye wie say ye nwie ya antehwe amfa ho
so it is politics that has failed us
politics now failing yen Supreme adentina was a confanoche in that state adentina was a confanoche in that state adentina for military hospital business still yentimi bie adenti and after you president go force ta adenti ni ntimi bie you catch here say the health minister catch here say there was a auditors ba which is true also omo ade omo inherit as a health ministry enti na was a proper audit kom no munye but nka ye hwe de enti a initially ni under the health yi ananki hu de ntia na wo a certain way bi ana omo ye e bia kasa bring akona nim nansan ya oba be ka kire say president assure mo say omo make sure say by the close of this year imu 35 there initially ade a oba ka kire say omo ni ska even 4 years now you say 35 omo make sure say by
ashanti we
2
I think the regional minister they can say
by December you be going to right from day one sanke ya anya na politics ananke ye call home straight ehwema auditors ebe muntem now auditors bit me the 2 months aye de ombe ye bia hwie within 2025 a hand over amanka budget e bayi anke be umbe bi PS kan bi akọ
so the longest short say
politics supreme politics na dia ba be wie be it is all you see your conference na say ade na bro so cases na so ba na eba na wuntimi enye now what discuss with regional minister akobe bia but now what do you do because ambulance services in the government hospital obe transfer case di aba oboase obe transfer case di aba asantemampo obe transfer di aba apart from the region has you know tamale obe transfer di abre no ha because I have been in chain kolebu what the mention say sunyan government hospital obe transfer di aba it is omuna de ba
or say you about this letter requested to explain why this should not be taken against you. Do you think that the management should be punished?
Dabi. Omunko come asemu ya. I see how no. So last paragraph no shows that nobody is going to punish anybody. Omunko so serve omunye the is asa omubeko na omunko kan de be. Omubeko akọ kan de nti a eni say punish omu. Eno no omunka bi obi am punish obi a.
Boys,
obi am punish obi.
The original minister one and nam. E dey na ekoso yi. I say apart from interchange ye hu hwe o. Bia ne se ye hu hwe o. Dey na ekoso okroma yi.
O man no. Said you see o mubu man no. O mu ma politics no. Eko bibia bu. Says ya metias is here dey me tell say agenda 111 am so mu wie ten. Sana kwa guka
na me ka se menya sure se ne bebro ten de akufo adokoko ho ne yi na ana se de o maka chere se are ready
and a half ya operate
dabio e de na be mu operate we de so se me room de mu operate no say adokota for nurse for
ti imposto bi anko
ni imposto bi anko be de na operate
e na me chere se
but e bet masia de na wie e de hu machine any bet any bibia gu aye bibia wie na imposto bi nko ya be de na operate
when we say why adia eye wa ankasa o program a o ye he no e na o ka so be ya agenda 111 be 88 sambakaya be agenda 88 asa no mo de ba sa 111 na wantimi anya ba ko ama wa nko bie nipa wa fa nipa
but why we still blaming the past government
me blame me ya chese politicians no wo mo bi o mo ye bia ni wa e bo yan ya e wa akiri no ene ye de blame kofo e o grow market
kofo ko ya che o kofo free 20 something e ko 20 years ni o
me chese ye de blame no 25 years ni
kofo free 2006
da bi mi ya chese 2007 grow market no 2021 okay oba ye no a oba yi adu
2001
elo de somebody ni see what you obey
up to now
o twa 8 ni wie
wantimanye
wantima wa mo aso wa mpam wo mu wa mpam wo bia free ho atamesi na bae na obepam nipa do e start here so nti wo hwe wo mu niema a wo ye no a eye obi the politics ni urade ni mu se no if say sa agenda 111 say ko mo shase entemo a say no mu si die campaign e no mu shase entemo a
ye ne se konfo no che
ko be wie bi o ma shase entem die o dada so a e so obitimi ye se wi ade nkro de be ya DCN first omo eyi sen ko mo hwe no so eye ya enu na akofa sa de ma we gina because we see there be we na ye ntimi faba
mentu aso afans na be kɔ ho ntimi nye
ena akoba se sa emergency a omo ka se yeah, tum one day. When some could pay your buy.
I said the number of emergencies are called and not thing. To cast a one GOB, be as beside the queue so dear. I know thing.
Oh, eti sa woman just say what check it said the politicians, you know, Emma Amamu no AC na say
no, but I don't know politicians now can say this for.
No.
But they are in power.
Dabi, sa what is album pay over politics or watching? We are yet.
President Mahama Kacha say, Akufo-Addo mistake or yeah back me kaipa na say you should have involved the faith-based for not to say sa nan ko no mo collaborating ye agenda 111 on sa faith-based they be a Methodist then for no ya no more hospitals now but busa won say NDC ba power faith-based association they are not association be no involved in agenda 111.
So what I say?
I said you had the solutions in the position. So what
it? Yeah.
I remember what I say. What they call say who blame party back one. In fact, because woman in I be the natural order. Woman in time one South from that almost stop here.
No, but
I market 3.
They are not making necessary.
Market 3.
Moka say here, you know. NDC for the was so young come more much here. Then we are politics of equalization.
Yes, I'm Americano.
Also, Minister Cracker says, I go for a military win near Crano. The Amana delay Sikasem and a second delay, and then no. But Untimin can't say, President, I can't say, yes, say, Ibia, Emma young 10 Ubia away. Oh. Untimi ka say president say emien 10 will be away so yare den ode ne ba e wa bra president so through ministry of India health no emma options bia
okay or say give the person the first aid
supremo omo de no do omo ka no o read omo letter ni ya omo kire ni padodo e fa
37 is
omo fa broso omo fa broso no omo sa kire dodo a esa ye nkiwo
so no that's any choice.
And now, Oma Unicron can come see Mobiam, almost say no. You hold on for 24 hours. So we will meet my clear more every hole. And the meaning say us at the time nearby, no. So a man can an ambulance, whoa, Nina Bawa, and then can be how almost any and Calbetano. Not the next release everybody say staff no, or more call, or more off day, or more meeting a year, flow bias will be ambra back. Or bow by 24 hours, so won't mean coffee. That is what it means. So,
dear okay on Sa hospital home call Obutimi a genie panel to a honum. Omoyen word me as a call word. Ultimate say Oboko word you may. I never told Cordina or then the emergency.
I say you free emergency situation.
Emergency situation on free.
Yeah, hear me be but what no try ma.
What is
what I say? Bibia di ho a wo de ko. Eti utimi di 3 days. E wo emergency ho. Wa bra ke ya yo ho adwuma wi e se ward no. Ward I ma.
No bed syndrome. A problem will
and so look at the number of people me politicians free na me NGOs free ma. Yon kofo be bromo so kokoda conference ne other hospitals na. Okoda ono no how people are suffering. Or free hours say me pledge best 2 best 3 no ataba the contribution of the ordinary people cry say on be my best I don't so go small eba
this be problem ni but we had the $10 million we had the $20 million no but what in bad do beto and pan boy say
na when you say say the pan so kwache no a na why the paboni ni o
kwache na the yeni na enkono be kwakoda ho me aye zimpani ho no mu kuma say ni pa no
by the way so when you say want to me the judgment ba ko be ba next month
concerning legal mining
and want next month I think July 4th
but why was he jubilating because there was no reason for jubilation
and there are answers in there until you know you're trying into the into so now can yes na me dey film
so it is said the politicians no woman sem aka sesi aka se wo ya ni aye ni tem na iska no ya gine de aboa
na ye boa no na je kra ye fa boa
Since the media politics in the
city, and Ebema Yura, better no, I and I say project be or me person me and Casame fan
because Ocasa may promises money.
Sa project ya.
Yes,
you confirm. Hisika kum. And some Casesicano. Would the two penny be any man out when you two be so near dear. Can you do baby?
About catch us here by yes 1 year.
So, I dear we know say training in I don't call a dear Bacoso. Meaning, I won't say a drew baby. Let's see what supreme the number of Nipapa, you will be my father.
So there be
up to now.
Yeah, politics now. We bar meant to us on the air.
Mr. Minister, called Jessica Cordoy. Now, be a bossy in him say a beer rianasa. Millie afraid God, then you see a beer rianasa, and ne, yes, I can't send for. And so I about the boy in but on only Diano. What did you go for? And a woman tells us, I
must say the intina. Oh, now Saturday, Eddie Triumph.
A poor child,
and then Menjasu. Now, Miracle, so I didn't buy a bono.
Conference day.
If you are Mirabel, don't mention how.
As a bed, okay.
Maybe I'm Mirabel. And you'll be intimate with us out.
That mean that. John Kuma, send you didn't do a bridge, Bianca.
Only the entire Sadi, and now it comes back to politics as Simia Making ya. Subumeba,
that is the door. You are a medical person. 2, you have worked in the medical field. 3, you are a leader. You know the problems at the hospital. What my boss, as I said, with the debut, you go to try and point.
But me won't point out, make a beside the worker, but me, but Subumeba. As a medical doctor, Sabia, Nere, Yamia Dom, Wafu, no, Cornebia, ne specialist. Our advice say because of ABC didn't make or you're a man called Debbie. Tell you to all politics, none American once and never you Kuma. The dear too, a quiet or my juma. Could you say, the dear politics is three, a big crack, I say, in
the American say,
and I'm calling in the and then I'm going to be justified.
With the US, I want who US are expensive. Even a moment citizen crying a cow at least 20,000, 30,000.
How do you know complications are near in the call?
The complications are the call.
Meaning, but make us say, me no, said the name people was what? No maintenance, so I can't know boy into me. Now, call over the man, no, son, and this is make up because sometimes in Nipano or make car. Issue one Casanca say or one child, do who Yanis and Iraq or Honington, which might draw conclusion there. I didn't know I'm now Wagana, now I'm call her winning system, Nina system being a fight a system. But the Abemo Bigere, and now so be Ubiako no operation with India, and now Portugal, and now Zimbabwe. Ebia ye ni training advice and specialist be the man. The Yabeka in say, so woman ya won't be. Or woman ya won't be. On to me, and one never do time obey free honor. Now reforms be near the near better facilities. So we mean our problem be. Oh, mean our problem be. Now me results man. And I'm a call chief exams officer. Tuka, call say me results name and neighbor share. No, I had me call in office. So yes, so no computers up in them there. I know what me say. Oh, I'm a bit my reason A. Reason B, it be our registration, or in term there, but because of be negligence in term and reflect our system, not on term, into our womb semester, Nintina, a buyer, and no, the McQuay no sacrifice will be a folder or checking who's we exams and ampines, whom we can't throw results now. We say, now, feed the Orion or cast a yes and ne, waba be whom. Now was also buying the capacity of a vice president into Okono. Could ye students in the India and what's on your registration? You almost see a tree who's a registration go through and I say go through.
Okay.
And what training none 2 meters. Until I feel no me back. Obi complaining on much not say. Okay, wait time day. We are one a mount. What free pass message. Namiama leading. Oh, baby, you know, okay, no problem. No, Sapa Pepper Nabe. Into only the Zubu meaning if there are no complications, be by an specialist, the advice, no. MPP time, my own Zangasia and Mekon. ka boys better aka say akwa we wonu bibi ara wonu bibi ara no pray wom no it's say na ye hunu ni say
why do you have to tell us
David you yirin
say na ira the problem is why
do you have to tell us say me ira ko wo abrichiri why do you have to tell us
okay I don't think so can straight out so when man so can say na ira out
comment no kan
no can I then because supreme on say again on mine na your team no yes so kan yes so no kan e
no na mo pa
me boys me bo your mine na your team no so kan say the wo kan yes so kan e chen say me mekwa ko huna me de ba be agenda
waka
yes ana me ka say so kan ya e better so no abeka say me de nyame asem yera ko wo so enso clinic wo he na ye baba be to ogu so na one day to betwa I tell say
fight system
no but ana me ka say even gas system no dey
wa wo kan kura we
system
no dey ye na nim say the system no say but supreme ye nim at the crop so a ma because me nim say so o matu dada so o baba ko dada so me nim ba bia o wo so wo mo Ghana ha that time no a politician yes no a politician still no wo mo ha yes or wo mo ha adan na we dey akwa wo na me ama say abusa question yim so okay e bia na bibi na ma ye refer na say ade no dey fa no ko South Africa option ho Tanzania option ho na Americans option ho ana o choose dey be bo no no ko e enti wo ko hu ni say no at the crop potting no aba o san so medical background dey no aba fight ni etima yes our reforms no ni enya bi wa ha say the be adachi bi ebi to me kwakwo subonti a mentimi mfa me yere nko Tanzania na ne ya hwe ne aye wa ha preko tie
ayo ya huni say ne de eye pa mun ko so na mo kwakumba kwama mu ne de mun ko so na mo te mo kwaku ne boys no me kwama mu ne de
the boys are the boys are fresh boys are fresh
asabri ya be no ka be meti wo teti asabri yo meyi meni wo politics no zenka me iri be wo anka me na ko wo
ti na say yeah wife ni
what the American
wife
remember me
scared do
oh yes
scared the politicians am you scared
na say boys class say kwa obetima wo ba ko mienu bi
Dabi
na e dey
Dabi
not to na assistant so be me so fi ni bre
si e ka se ye wi awo a ye wie ya bo ma obetima ya 80 or still o wie ya obo
boys obe person obe vasectomy ne say on say your ma family plan bo se ne nsa ho bo no ma bo ho e bia family plan dey bia ma so ma o film ko no that on mo obe person obe ma vasectomy ne bia obe ma no aha ne aye surgery kakre bi on enche enye den na obe ma ba bia eyi ne fomu ba na ya block to bia na baba no sia da
Dabi kind of me ye
Dabi o ba man dey ya fiu
Dabi mahunu na
Dabi so dey bia to
dey say since 2020 e be si be e ma bo me hu bai ale say me
e kwa be na fa so bon
me nyi mo ba bia da
ai no yen say
me ni o ba bia nyi say da
ngo yen say na e man nyi si sana
ba boys have cancer
okay
Dabi tell way your president come be man dey o ha say dey tie bia so why wo ye sa dey man e man na obetima
ese boys wenyini ese nkwamwa no fom
anje nkwamwa no na mo me kan jeno so mo
enye nkwamwa no ma bob ho ba ya che
le dey ro bo no ho ba boys with street no so mo
ti animu no ha na champion we say buy champion condom e buy di ya be o ba kai
men ka cha pa
jerry tab no ha kura
na boys abon ho ba ya che
so that say and champion condom buy na me ya ambassador
now you ambassador
eti
why ambassador am condom na pe
chiri mi ama mi hu say aye bi hu adwuma
boys aye am condom ho ambassador nyina Dibia aye just a bufro supremo boys
enti all say boys dibi ho mo mutibika ti mi nko without condom da
akawo
mi ti mi nya bi da so go ye mami ye ya ma ade all say GD pa o champion condom GD pa so enti mati bi dia aye saade no abesi sabre ya obi amfa nyi se bi amre bi da ebra bi ka se mi mu bi otutu na meyire mienu no mu nyina mi su kodo
boys are no way
oh baby enye wunim nyansa eye wunim nyansa dia wudimi mare mienu
ye di nyansa de worry man
ye di nyansa mi ne ware
boys
go to bu okra trunk one betwa saa odimi kan kore
so mami worry mami na so odimi kan kore
da bi no kore de nyansa ni ka
boys
go tell na mani mienu akreke a utwa we tra we be ka kire we
oba fie no si say you
so just here aha enti se we obi a wo kan kore anyway na onim nyansa bibia ni wa be obetwa to wakọ wawi ahu eye we na ne na aduru ho wawi ahu akoda so just here oba ya betwa to se no ukodi we ebi asunyane into wa
koda we nchai
wa bra koda we nchai what I say aha o msushi ya no ka
o are mami no o yo trofo
wo nya na me chese ni nyina gina wo be ma no wakokoduro ene onokure eye adwuma so aha
na ye papa kantanka mo issue ekoso yi ajosa fo se woni enafo no agon ya agona wo
babia sa hono na I think say headquarters no say
so o hoye mo na ma me free no papa na ye asuminya ni o mu yenu na ka bu mai ena akofra so be di ejafo na side boys wadwen kire wo sa de ekoso yi we dey
se the asem de he
omo issue se aba kamia se ba hu se o se bo to obo pa so
start to ba
o to obo pa se akofra no ena niwe ona to su jagum
agu abusanfo na
se hafo no na ye ka nafo na ye yi to munya adwasafo na nafo no mo is agona wo se no
me refi kro na kasa bata ye ya
boys info na yo so me ye
ayi no se no ho papa no ama ne niema nyina kodi wo central
baby a
ehon na wo ka no
sa central enya agona wo
okochichi kro
ehon na omo yi na nkasa wo
ye nsie ho
mpa ho
aha so no okochichi ho
ehon na we na nkasa wo de wo ka no kro no mo ni na nkasa
kodi ho
nje ehon na sam no wo ka no
eti wo ni se hafo na sumina fo ni ntwa so
dabi omo support wo no omo ko de bibia omo nyi bi omo nya bi
eti ka
what aniaba papa ni nyina ho ne wo
eti omo ntwa so wo
se omo ejai
na sa akofna so hwe a adwasafo agi atane ni ase dodo
o adwasafo dia wo agi atane ni ase ari se oye popular chair wo mu nti ene oye bi sa
wo ni so the popularity
for the popularity na ye no gentry but they do dia dia bema dia se wura mu yi
eti o fa bibia anto nche na o fa na o machine
o fa do nche nya bonya we nya manso papa na woni ajapade baako adakitu bi emu factories wo mu
na sase bi eda ehwan kwan mu eso na wo first na so me ehwan park no opposite awurade ekeso on ekeso da pano sa
because on wono ebra oti na sore no o de asase de tie
ojo baba bia no to asase
oba kro no mu a obehuru himfo no ro ato asase no to odi emrante ne maba no na odo oba hye efuo no mu
na zo to no mu didi free mu no
afene so amu wa bi afache bi omo ye
no di bi aba
to ne ma no di bi aba enti obi a wo papa na so bia no enye kwadwofo untimi nye kwadwofo wo apostle na sorry
obeyafu
kwa bia to yafu enti no mo ya de a wo mo ye no ho prempra assembly ho ha sa Jubilee Park de ho no
yes
no mo di nuane ba ba siesie school de ho no nyina mo jiri nyina mo di nuane free kroso mo adai a mo ye enti na sorry ne de na say na onye we sa na mo de e business asori na no mo ye o mo ton nuane no o mo ye bibia enti ajapade a papa do wo no eni kwa so obi tira sa moto amu side ho e be ye se ye piraba wo pere di akoyi asumya ensai obi akoji kuro asase
eti omutwa so
eto omutwa so Saudi ba area na omko papa de koji ye no enye ize kuro ni ekese factory ni nyina ho de abuild no
tinya fei na mo be
wo ba ye we ama ya chiche ani nkro de ba so
manager ye chamre koku ye brand ntino Prophecy Skin Care Clinic abuja Prophecy Skin Care Clinic can show say we there we boys tiana we there da so clean sharpy say your fe wo pese skin toso na ye fa Prophecy Skin Care Clinic omo Ashoma Estate omo ben Age Sport Junction braho na ye nyama say ye kutwa na to ana say ye kro ye jam we uti anima toto ho foot rot say anantema pro any skin type bia skin disease a wo bia no bra Prophecy Skin Care Clinic no mo for obapa heba ointment enkan no mo treat you na wonto we there ye mono mokwa entiko na Prophecy Skin Care Clinic ye mo na ye hwe Anasbo Enterprise a POP hina no anase me kan show say ye POP ban POP ho adwumadie say brani nyo POP ma anything interior deco de Anasbo Enterprise ye tukwa ko Ghana fa na nyina akokọ ye POP wo de no so be free number 0246113461 na waba wo free ya wo de twa picture keke fa kire wo hu bi online fa be kire say POP we bi na mepe ye me ne kama e de ama na me guso di eye glow washing powder ho adanse amawo abusa wo kudwa so anywhere you go na se wo kwakoto washing powder eye glow washing powder abusa wo pedodo atudi e no one so be first floor comfort shopping arcade ye Accra Central ye ben eye UMB bank no e hona na ye wo but wo kudwa so fa 2-3 glow washing powder washing machine a use wo don sa na be posa wo bathroom na be twitwi wo form na be pepa e manema ni ti wan pampan ni mu ye hwam sa so na efini keka wa nyina yi free onema mu eti for number se na be 2 bi yesa kobra bi aka scope glow washing powder best deal door-to-door shipping abuja obeso de for UK and about Ghana from UK to Ghana and one best deal door-to-door shipping from UK to Ghana abuja baby awo UK bi abefa baby o Ghana bi aso de beko say oniema na baby dru de tebe show na baby dru ensiwa say time ebe show say wo buy no oniema ni bi apapa ebubu unya bibisa abuja bi on oni ada job say ya toto niema no ne de ba ye be say adwuma na ma wo free number se free na enu ni nko Hobart Auto Part Express so we car wa park ya che o garage o car na esi ache o ton car spare parts ntino ama o part ni ba bi ntino ama obi aba we dey nka menya original shema I was up original spare parts and one Hobart Auto Part Express ye be ko US showroom na say brand new na ope ye de be bro ope slightly use ye de be bro ope aftermarket product ye de be bro any part bia no ye be crack na dey ba o door steps na wa kogina de ko di djuma bia free number se na go screen so no Zion V Construction and Services eyadansi ehu djuma na yedi Zion V Construction and Services general building se wo dan no aye dan problem be na wo dan nim bra na yen treat ma dan yen si ye kwa na person starting from scratch e be woni plan e no so bra e dan no apoto bibra agi aboso damnate be treat ma telegraph yeto ye baby am stamp concrete opposite floor ni nyina ye baby am friend numbers no na Zion V Construction Services e me hwe wo fie no ma wo pe project manager ni nyina Zion V Construction and Services friend no Black Star Fan Club Bus abuja ye bi na ye World Cup na be wi wa oni so kwa hwe World Cup ni bi e wo Toronto Boston na Philadelphia bi ya no ye ka chem say the buses e be si New York ye bi be si New Jersey ni ye bi si Massachusetts wo de ya say on that particular day which is 17th on the 23rd and 27th we Ghana matches no obeba New York New Jersey and Massachusetts abe fro buses no ni nyina ya bom akwa akohwe and one say obekọ www.blackstarfanclubbus.com we kwa reserve with seats e website one na ontimi bia say afre na mese be chechim ye nyina ye nka bom ni enkonko support Ghana Black Star na enye fe na enye nipa na enye kama 3p garlic mixture 3p garlic mixture abuja say wo jojo wo da sorry o mean system na you weak ama say what da sorry dey so say why mre o menstrual pains hawa abuja ana say eye wo 983t obi o say blood pressure na see shoot to control o sugar level no was low wa mu edu do stroke ana dey how bia eye 3p garlic mixture buru ni haba shop na kwaje wo dey akra bi o ko for dua kumase ho nyina wo benya bi ato opedo do to afre na mesi go screen so boys
yeah
be sorry o kwawu
Supremo
na me yes sorry na
aye
your friend is saying Sarkodie
yeah
what is to
yeah
na stumbo e kana asem imagine dey one Sarkodie ne shata wo hwa na wo de shata ne Sarkodie na manager wo za post no stumbo post no
me hu ne se na enya wo ne wo but timing no
na timing nye but we say Sarkodie be react we will talk about that later
okay
ye be die no come boys
yeah
ye ba be sorry afuto be na de why ne fan sorry afuto be na de why
oh and that there memfa asem bia ehu bia nto then ko fa problem bia bro because me ya me hu nya hiu the otinche obaji wo
o kuda ai ti wo
boys me sanam tie
eliti ze vitabu kakra we be na say because am ya say bi boti
sami jenfi
da bi sami brother sami
on the Supremo ni on preocupe
brother sami mi ni preocupe
I don't be nada ne da na sem
na mo de na mo ye na me mentem wasi o se ni pakro epese se nipa say one first of all brother sami dan brother sami betimi asi Charlie weekend programs are obo no obetimi asi na empo se nye brother sami empo na asi na obi na share chire nipa crop si ehu na nkwa twenty etimu mu ha no say
ya ko boya o na yede die be ka kakra
mu ha no say
o na yede
kwa gude be ka no ati asi
die wo bi say
brother sami no me na mesi fie me dia me hotel ni ye hwe brother sami adwuma wa ya
na wo ni asame no wo bi say wati dai
me ba to boys me ba sami Saturday ni Sunday shoes are born enkoda nchen weekdays Tuesday prayers be asore be ye wa ha Thursday the whole Ghana me nim go so share no show brother sami
so me ba okay last year na so 2 years ago a dan bia brother sami be ka say we see how many rooms
50 bedroom
no
na sa dan na
oh when sa ache Africa
so we any hotel we 50 bedroom
Africa wan ka say hotel
no
be any town on what na so
be hotel and that brother sami esi and mo say enyo no na esi and wo dan che
na kai
na empo
ya me kwa
boy say empo so bi share chira nipa pesi ehu na ebio ana high sense be bring him say my brother eno so boys mo asema mo kanu ya nyintu
o ba ya tumo wo nyintumo die wo mni say wonua no wonim say wasini dai e wo ho wonim enu wonim say ni fie
was outside o
da bi wonu asi ni fie
say fie de o ti si bi no asan so anya bi
ana at away akoba say wo si e mo da ya advert ni adade e advert ni adade na ye bo awo no adodode e wo ho no e so mu obi abi
some make catch mo some mo no nya
advert
and I said mu nua no nti we bi man na ye dey at the day ni junior brother I said and ni senior brother one akawa na nyini
aka nyini chance am
okay eti mo ni senior brother ayam colleague eti mo bua no na ka mo anyi hwe na ka ye dey
na se bua no de na me see o tumi si ete wo challenge me say na dwuma wo ye na se no be
show so wo bon
wo ko hwe ho
ma hwe
wo ko hwe dai no
enye easy
wo ko first ka wo he
eye ni show so na wo bon
jai me ntra ba bia ka say minim dawura no na so be si saminti mi si da no e di se onu ya no wa fan say obetuma si 50 bedrooms na ma ko expect you
boys yadi o
ma ko hotel ho
boys dey make sure
ma ko we bi bia swimming pool da ho no sami kura timi si I'm telling you
hwe sameka say ni sika
me react say
uni say Saturday weddings engagements
swimming pool no
aye
and grand swimming pool no
week Saturday go timbo be 10 shows. I splash. Sunday. Sunday obi was akwa be 10 and where they need blessing engagement. Na so oje 2k.
Now challenge me ho a.
Boys to Saturday kra no 10k oje 2k anya 20k. Sunday 2k anya 20k. That means weekend ma Saturday say anya 40k. Maybe Saturday weekday prayers asofo bebree Tuesday service, Thursday service, Wednesday service. Na say okobe 1 2 3. You want to week be okọ 5 and so 10k. Osaye ju angel FM.
Ana enkofo nso a edisika hye ni ministry ni mo mai omo so seed.
Eti no so keke per week with 50k.
Eti say wo we achete da no. Dia. And dan dia badam chiro say nipa ne dia no. Minim no compete se onie ono si ni dai
and otoma
what the ma sami say o promote ma no and o de no ba say yem wa no promote dai no
then nipa kro pese hu na se nko no ba
ya hu no ye ni no
boys
boy kuma se boy
boys until say nipa kro ba be gina bonti akase if dan ye media no
eti bi mo nipa kro ni
enye di wo bo di kra me nyini wo bo wetima bo ba obokra me nyini
stand boy
ubetimi abo na obokra me nyini because me nyini
sabi o this camera ba ka tell so first camera
sami ye adwuma
best ye you know for say wo ya ma sabi ho abekire no ha
sami ye adwuma
ya wo ye no
sami ye adwuma edana sami esi on challenge
why adwuma
wa prove say enyu to ska wo
wa say industry no so na sa what na adwuma ni ya
be catch your play the whole industry no so yi sa go for enu free mo your friend say shatter the line no every mo gospel musician bi enu obetime si sada
na Jometo ni
Jometo studio na yi na why no close to $1 million so
me just said now the way with him
the chance say sami esi
ban with him sabi no one betime Sami.
Ade Sami see how on.
There be Wodiska.
The which one first?
Sami Wodiska kura, Wodika pre kura titi.
Me am testing me.
Masa. Sami dey say wo bro. Enti mamu fight that.
Bro. Also brother Sami brother say say na chere na na.
There be Wodiska.
Na Japade kese we ya obede.
Kan ye say won wa ye no. Sa ti ne niema ku fom.
Masa.
Where Japade kese say that.
One bebre if say dey true nti omo atwetwe ho.
The boys no see bibi say am meka.
La say bi see that men kada.
Boys.
Me see that. Me see hotel. Na ma meka say me see hotel.
And akobi na box red in the enyo no but
wọ́n jẹ́ àkọ́ abẹ́rẹ́.
àkọ́ bí ẹ̀rọ ọ̀ṣẹ́ box already tí kò máa ẹ̀dá kò jẹ́ mọ́ ọ̀ṣọ́ ọ̀dẹ̀ tó ń fi inú máa bọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀sán mi.
wọ́n di ẹjọ́ òdòdó dá lẹ́sẹ̀ pọ̀ ẹ̀ náà yẹ ẹ̀dá ni ẹni dìá ni mi ni mu no life say but bí wọ́n nu kura mi mpọ̀ ǹjẹ́ ǹjẹ́ ẹ̀sẹ̀ bàtà yẹ ẹ̀jì mi nù.
wọ́n yẹ jìmí ni sẹ́yìn.
because mi bẹ ká àkyẹ̀wò ayẹ dẹ̀ ọdún bíbí ntí síkìtì wọ́n mu mi ni mi síkìtì no ẹ̀ tí wọ́n ti mi ká sẹ́ni dìá dẹ́wúrà bíbí tí wọ́n ti mi ká.
O can't send baba.
The problem can see baba.
Yevensia.
Say come them can say. This year we go here to know about problem. Okay, but me yes. Mechia Alaji Bawa. The boy, any Samija V. Alaji Bawa. Yes. And Samija V nuya Erikaji Omuna. Everyone be ye na no am DJ amoko e matcha apia stadium o matcha o mo
apia stadium is it John Nancy was yes watch obi kai na
watch obi
na Sunday
Oscar where
na dan for na
on na ho na on mo yewe na
me ti di ni keke but me woni pa
why it was the social media can see ya
apia stadium is jawo no
oh yes say no Ibrahim Kurano ye obosumi bi otwa naka woni naka you try naka obosumi bi
which is good
so that say abi am suso
Abiam so hwe come.
That's what Abiam say me say.
One so still na jara so no.
Abiam. Hey, atamba na kan.
But I abusa ne so betima from adwuma.
Okay, Nick Petroleum now. Okay. Hey, that on the hey.
On the
also that's all. Na voice. Ben that is so.
Who have to dia.
Me be say me na appear still be adwuma na business kam ko share bi.
Kosia.
Why?
Appear still be adwuma no.
Adwuma so called first students.
Oh, that be not so no.
That's into come here. That be into come here if you ungraduate da. Kwame Anfie school na wo ko appear study on graduate da e was so graduate na for bi fufuro shim ana supreme wo ka say ono no we say ya fa no etika Kwame Anfie enti na wo ko ye graduate na
ka be shim
o ti bi graduate because of say the plan wo ni ti mu nyina na say okope no bi je wa wo
onya Kwame be she wo
o se adwuma ni to be she wa wo
for fully adwuma me bi
mo
for money for adwuma wa
and your boys is for me to where you swear sabe ya da go for dey say dey
be da for dey to say say me so me bo me ho ba now you say we say
for me to dey so go boys so skin na back too much
wait say Salinko amameka
Salinko ka
Salinko amameka dey ma fa ma
na so dey ba trying them ka be ya
omo we Cabri.
Oh,
spider
nice.
do be.
Come spider.
Yeah, be.
It's what is. I tell me you anya na we kura. I say me nya.
Salinko era say.
Salinko.
But Salinko so nyame
sha. Na ko so de ba ni twa.
No, check cars no a oguzo chiche.
Ana wo ka chere say na won tin.
Na card kura me be ya hu problem.
Ade.
One more card na.
Say me be so asi we so.
Why?
Kojo cancer.
So I order.
Oh boys.
Na no say na obi say Salinko you know car.
Me say on chimbi. Kai so on chimbi.
The media me dem aka. E je ka ba ko pe do ache o.
Ono wo check us o. Na Salinko ye adwuma me ankasa.
Adwuma say wo ye. Me on say first one no ye bilo ye bi. Mo so ye bi da.
Otonti.
Da bi o ye bilo ankasa. Konko mu die no.
E fa say di be na.
Ono ni die ni edi mu frede da.
E da so.
E wo de koko di oto.
Oto ni Ghana no so de kwa bichi.
Koko no aye no ha. O de bi ko African countries ni bi. Aha.
Na ise wo ye dey. Wo je no ana wura so ye.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And was anya company bi ono mo ye adwuma.
Eh.
On company na ye adwuma no on company na ye adwuma na say.
What
joint business. Oh, I had to watch your cardio.
Oh, watch me. We say, come,
Yamisha.
Spider.
Yamisha. Well, Yamisha Salinko. Salinko.
Oh boy, from a tone so dear to me.
More channel will be as yes.
I would try me.
Oh, but I want to be able to feel enough. You are.
But give you, yeah, no buffalo. Why?
Boys, yeah, that's I said over side. My birthday debut.
Oh, that's fine.
Manager, my birthday. My birthday be that.
And then one can eat
with a sharp.
First one.
Manager, be a madame. All right. Happy birthday. And come a Mrs. Dinah Ajenim Watson. Why midwife, a woman Bonte Government Hospital. What would that a brasso? Say, you do what would that for cry. Now, we message if you were Ukuno. If you Ukuno a year Ajenim Watson, where pharmacist for Family City Hospital, and also a Fadi. Who could say, "Can show say, oh, my happy birthday." Not me can show say, "Nyamin show." Min koson can show say, or do free na kumo mankasa. Was say, also bad you won't be that. Na said ye we ye a year pa, we ye a year and napa. Emma abusuani nyina no. Was say, Ujina a year one name more friend in a name, a castle my happy birthday. Nyamin tun quandem. Nyame Emma was sinting na won tre no se ne be ya ye nyina beti ma twene wo nyame hirawo wasere nkwatinti anwodi wom wasere animunyam wasere nkoso wasere favor de to abramo so nyame ndom no hwe so mfa ma wo ne nkora ni nyina wukuru se men kan che wo se wanhia wa wase wo de se manhia prekope wanhia wa woni ba bia nko wo ba na kwan mu so no hu se niema asesa wo na brabom eti we de on behalf of eye wa wukuru wase omo happy birthday wasere se won kwan na enware e wasase so nyame ntire ni mkyerɛ wo fa won hye na batan kese na se na won to ni super no emfa ngu so wasere nkwatenti ahodin bom e de ma wo yare nka ho owuo nka ho amane nka ho esan nka ho favor ni wachi adom no ne wonante omo happy birthday nyame hyira wo Mrs. Dana Ajeni Boate nyame nyo kese yama happy birthday Monday kwaku Monday papa Monday abuja Monday ewo airport runabout oben total filling station ho airport Kumasi airport runabout asana me kan you abuja Kumasi udru airport so Kumasi airport obi animo total filling station wana Monday ewo oye Monday fashion dey ka fashion atade pa ba na wo pe say yem pam atade ma wo de kwagye aware atade a wo de ko program wo de ko parties de wo di pie amwaye abrante waye ababa wa e dey kind of dressing na wo pe kwaku wo ya fe nyina Monday ai wanna check kwaku atoso sa no or Kumasi portion about was say you don't need to physically even come to his shop. So what Ghana, anywhere in the country, friend obeje measurement. Uni measurement, I want to picture keke cross and then obe pupu atade bia mawa, owia ba bia wo bia no. Na was said deliver Edia bro. The number is 0249892588 and 0243874525. Monday baby I will be an kwaku menche kwaku did abeka che Monday they say there Kroma don a trend the biggest fashion designer o Kroma say and ope atade bia for any occasion trust me Monday into betimi afa number no na was Monday be ma colors pa boys yes Monday be ma colors pa be ma colors na be ma colors come pa yes I was a Monday number in the screen so no father and nkasa ubetimi so we report on about no about boy na Monday what's Monday no day
Monday or be ma colors.
Yes. Blue Kais. And now we're here, John.
It won't chow to so.
That's fine. The answer color. Or your mawa, space in anything in the Unyama.
It's over colors in the Monday, maybe I will be a mature. Kwaku ya che obi bia ti do bibia say empress said as be empress say nani ache na ya obo entire mesra no
ohu obo ya nani ache pa
obi bia nani ache empress were around Cornerstone Patricia Fori Josephine wa ana kwese me chia bebre Kobe Road me chia pa chia Kobe Road omnyina ba around squad around Mr. Richard Ando around Nana Bodu around always royal omunyina ebaye kwaku ya chi obi bia nyame aboma Monday message weekend obi ahwe na usu yesra mo ahwe obi ahwe na usu nyame adoma e message abuja yakra mo
ma na yire kwa wo odi na chi
sa na wo se ba
wa he so na kwachem
so no ba na wo no ba na nyem
ni afre na adimrika ni osebo abdi akire na yire wo wi ani afre o say congratulations awo na adimrika ko na wo na kwache labor room ho
so a doctor
ntiden anu wonje na wo ni dem
to ne yire na ekọ wo ne yire na nyem yi
masa media me no hwe ya bo ama ensam ni bi wo ho a ahomte
mate
uja se ne wa mo ne ba no na wu di o kire akra ni wo be ye de
oso a wo ba be ma
bouncing
baby boy
why ya de nanso asem a ye namu a ye famu no we don't expect a medical doctor and by this time say what will be egu ojina ho je nipa nkwa
anope of friend say o ne confirm
of friend wan wo ha go ntimi nya bibi o wa ha nkwoti wo friends won afoso
na Paul ne yire nyam na
ade o ye nya minister ni nye serious onye serious no bema o yire nkwo na de akire ene se Gabriel do onya ahoto because ne yire m ye mienu we wo no wo nsa no na we wo no wo sa no o be de no onya ahoto